Hello everybody, and welcome back to Scarlet and Violet, where we are going to be shiny hunting once again with GRENINJA, because of course this thing is still quadruple over odds, and we still don't have the shiny yet. This is annoying, and I really hope we get it now, or at least today. Hey, Gentleman Glasscore, how you doing? I mean, it happened a while ago, Gentleman Glasscore. I don't think you've been here that recently. But how you doing? Oh, so one of the mods go grab Gentleman Glasscore's link. But how are you doing? But yeah, we're back to the GRENINJA shiny hunt. So, this is our by far our worst Masuda hunt we have ever had. 4 times over odds. I just don't even know what we're gonna do. It's just, I don't really get why the game is like, no, we gave you a lot of shinies before, but now we're just gonna do the ultimate nah bro and just take it all away. So you're not gonna get any shinies going forward. At least until you hit like quadruple, if not even more odds. Probably quintuple odds. Hello, Rosie. Hello, Rosie. How are you doing? Hope you are doing very well, Rosie. Hope you're doing delightful. Because I know I am. I certainly know I am, aside from, of course, GRENINJA being a continuous shoe. On the escalator, place Pokemon all talk together. Yes, of course. Exactly. Very much exactly. I just really hope we get this shiny soon. I just really hope we get this freaking shiny, like, today. Because I don't know, it's one of those things where I'm thinking when we hit 5 times over odds, maybe 5.5 times, maybe 6 times odds, I'm gonna shift to doing this hunt off screen, because we kind of talked about that a bit yesterday, where in a bit of a similar vein as the Ho-Oh shiny hunt, it's one of these hunts that I don't want to do actively on screen if it's going to be like, you know, this low odd, like this, you know, this long of a hunt. Because all I'm going to do is just continuously talk back in circles, which, of course, is not good for you guys. Use H. Lilligant. I mean, I think that Hisuian Lilligant could just be like New Toy Syndrome. Because I don't really know much of what Hisuian Lilligant offers over base Lilligant. And I know base Lilligant had a lot of good things, and like you can use support moves. Ah, that's a good joke, Blorb. That's a good joke. But yeah, I mean, I also think that because we know Regulation D is coming, people are just trying out everything. You gotta remember, in the early part of a metagame, everything is in flux. You know, it's like, it's one of the reasons why early on, for Regulation C, you saw things like, you know, like that Fissure Ting-Lu, and then as time went on, Fissure Ting-Lu just really started dropping off a cliff. Because people realized over time, it just really isn't that good. It's just something fun to play around with. Isn't that what just regular Lilligant speed is too? I'm fairly certain like regular Lilligant and Hisuian Lilligant have like the same stat. Oh really? It has even more. Okay. Interesting. So Hisuian Lilligant. Okay. So they lopped off 50 points. 60 points from there. 5. Okay. Okay. I see what they did. They took off the special attack and distributed the special attack into the physical attack and into the speed. Okay, so they gave Hisui and Lilligant more speed then. Hello, Hello there, Alexander. How are you doing? I feel like with just Chlorophyll, regular Lilligant would outspeed things, though. Unless it gets, like, some new, like, unless it really gets some zesty fighting moves. Because, like, Victory Dance is just a physical counterpart to Quiver Dance. But how are you guys doing? Again, if you haven't done so already, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. Petal Blizzard. I guess Solar Blade is a strong option. Do Solar Blade. Interesting. It gets defog. Mid-range helping hit. Axe Kick. Maybe it's Axe Kick. But, like, again, it's a 30% chance to confuse and 10% chance to cut half your health off. Interesting. Maybe... acrobatics. There's a few things it's got that I think could maybe be why. Interesting. I guess maybe the fighting coverage, is it? Or speed control with low sweep. Everything gets that. Okay, close combat. I don't think it would even want to use close combat. The only... Well, okay, wouldn't say that. I guess maybe close combat White Herb into acrobatics could be something. But... I don't know, that feels a bit weird. Interesting. Oh! It gets Ice Spinner. That's fascinating. Hisui and Lilligant's got a bit of a weird grab bag of moves. Close combat, Ice Spinner, Defog, Hurricane. That's weird. Bog, Poison Jab. Interesting. I would Shiny Hunt, but I'm in the mood to Shiny Hunt. Dynamax Adventures. Just do random Dynamax Adventures. Yes, but here's the thing. It doesn't have a good special attack. Remember, Hurricane's a special move. It's not a good move to have on it. It is not a good move to have. Interesting. I might have to use a Hisui and Lilligant. I may want to experiment with that. Yes, we did get the shiny Ho-Oh. We did get the sparkly bird. That we did off screen. Which we were actually talking a bit similar about that with the Froakie shiny hunt, where if this hunt goes over odds, you know, too much more, I am gonna probably do this hunt off screen. Not a clue. Not a clue yet. Flying type counter, right? Yeah, flying type's hard counter Hisui and Lilligant. I guess maybe go Terra Ooh. Ooh. Terra Electric Hisui and Lilligant. That sounds interesting. Because it's normally very weak to flying. Then you go Terra Electric to start slapping them, and then you, of course, you're a grass type still, so you have your grass type moves to just blast ground types. That's a thing. Because, I mean, Victory Dance is a very... Also means you can't be paralyzed. I mean, you could also go Fire, so that way you can know you Chlorophyll in Sun with Terra Blast Fire. Because this is another thing about fire types. Everything fire is weak to, grass is super effective against. There's 900 Korok Seeds in Breath of the Wild, but I believe in Tears of the Kingdom there was 1,000. I don't know if you mean Breath of the Wild or Tears of the Kingdom. But yeah, there's 900 and then 1,000. A lot. Well, we're not going to be doing the Iron Treads and Great Tusk things on the shiny hunt. We're shiny hunting right now for the Froakie. I'm probably going to be doing the Iron Treads things at a later date. Yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot of Korok Seeds. There's a lot of them. Probably because they added in more bow slots for Breath of the Wild. I have 132 damage spear. Fun. So, why did you go for the spear rather than the Gerudo Claymore? I feel like I know the answer to this, but I would like to know if it's because of the Flurry Rush. Because you get more hits in with a Flurry Rush from a spear than you do from a Flurry Rush with a Claymore. There's 120 shrines in Breath of the Wild and 152 shrines in Tears of the Kingdom. Yeah, they basically took everything in Breath of the Wild and just dialed it up more. I do like this, like, no, we're just going to increase everything. We'll make it even bigger in Tears of the Kingdom. That's kind of one unfortunate thing about Tears of the Kingdom. I don't think I'll ever be able to go back to playing Breath of the Wild, which, granted, I wasn't as big of a Breath of the Wild fan as most people are. But it's like, after Tears of the Kingdom, which is like, it does everything and does it better. It's like, why would I go to play knockoff Tears of the Kingdom? Yeah, I know that, dude. I saw. For the Spears of the Claymores, for the longer range, and yeah, that's pretty much the reason I was expecting with the Flurry Rush. Because the thing is, Claymores are supposed to have more power, but with the way the fusing the fusing system works, it really closes that gap. Like, yeah, you might get in 9 hits. You might get in, like, 7 hits with a Claymore. But if it evens out, like, 100 power, like 120 power, okay, that's something. Go Spear, little less power, but you get in, like, 4 more hits. Yeah, you might as well just go Spears. Because that little bit of damage difference is not going to be made up for with those hits. Yeah, I know about the chestnut raids. I'm going to be doing those on my Scarlet version later today. Choice specs Blandurus Incarnate. Oh. Probably because they're not running Sheer Force anymore. Yeah. Lando Incarnate probably doesn't want to run Sheer Force. Because this is something I thought of a while ago. You kind of want Sandsear Storm, because with the removal of things like Scorching Sands and Scald, there's really not many non-fire moves that inflict burns anymore. Sandsear Storm is one of the only ones that does. Oh no, that dude, I mentioned the Sandsear Storm thing months ago. When I first saw Sandsear Storm, I was like, oh, the first thing that came to mind. You're not going to want to run Sheer Force Lando anymore. You're going to want to run Sand Force, put it in sand, so that way you can keep the power and the burn effect. I thought of that a year ago when I first saw that move. Because it's just that good of a move. Because I was like, okay, well, it gets around, Scald being Water Absorber Storm Drained, and it hits both Pokemon. It's like, oh, it's not just that. It's actually something and then some. Fun, except also not really. Ah, Sandsear Storm. Frozen Meat Shield. That's just an ice board at that point. Might get. It's Sand Force. It doesn't have Sand Veil. Nope, we did not get the Froakie. We've not gotten the Froakie, Doctor. And again, guys, if you haven't done so already, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe for more. I hate Tauros. It's things like Paldean Tauros that make me wish repels were still an item that existed. But at the same time, it's also like, yeah, it's kind of good that I don't need to use repels every 10 seconds. But yeah, no, that dude. We had that idea for the Landorus months and months and months ago. Because it's a very interesting, simple idea to do it. Because I was never a big fan of Sheer Force Life Orb. I was never that big of a fan of it because it was very dependent on that for most of its damage output. But you take that away, you give it, a different item, you give it, Sand Force, you keep the secondary effect, and you get the power boost. Plus, I already enjoyed using Sand Teams as is, so it's like, it naturally slots into my play. Even though I actually have never used any form of Landorus. Blandorus. Well, okay. Aside from a draft league where I did use Dio Blando, but I did not draft the Landorus. That was actually drafted for me by someone else. Yes. Stuck in the purgatory that is Team Builder. Welcome to the struggles of every competitive player. Welcome to the competitive purgatory known as team building. Yeah, I do know that's also one of the reasons I kind of haven't been able to do. That's one of the reasons why I'm going to try to get back into the competitive battles with viewers this weekend, if not this weekend, next weekend, is the hardest thing about competitive battling for me is just putting together the team ideas. Because I love Sand, but there's really not many Sand teams you can really run these days, because, like, okay, we gotta run Lycanroc for Sand Rush, but it's Lycanroc alongside Tyranitar. Both have, like, same weaknesses. Do you have the Master Sword, Blorb? Because if you have the Master Sword, Phantom Ganon's kind of a joke. Phantom Ganon is very, very jokey if you've got the Master Sword. There's a small part, like, I know that I've said this before, and that one of my favorite things about the newer games is when they remove my old standbys I use. But when you remove my Sand Excadrill, I'm like, okay, I like the new stuff, but I also really, really like running my Sand team. Because it's like, Sand teams are what I am most familiar with. So kind of building non-Sand teams is like, I kind of don't know what I'm doing. And I'm glad I don't know what I'm doing when I'm building my non-Sand teams. Don't get me wrong on that. But also a little wonky. No, it's just rock types. It's just rock types that get a special defense boost. Yeah, no, you might want to pump the brakes on that. It is exclusively rock types that get that boost. Common misconception, though. Unless they change that this gen. Hello, Maisie. Come on, the mods, go grab Maisie's link. How you doing? Yeah, it's only rock types that get the special defense boost. It's actually why if you Terastallize out of rock type, something like Tyranitar will actually lose its special defense boost. Same thing actually happens with ice types in snow, where they will lose their defense boost if they Terastallize out of ice. But if they Terastallizes into ice, they will actually gain the special physical defense boost. Wamu. Ah, so how far into rewatching JoJo are you, Mudkip? Hopefully I can get a good run in Heart Gold. I hope you can as well. Speaking of that, I still got to make the rest of my stuff for the shiny Lugia hunt in Soul Silver. Yeah, it's Steel, Rock, and Ground are not affected by the Sandstorm. Only Rock gains the special defense boost. Ah, so you are in Battle Tendency. Interesting. I don't think it is. Froakie hates me. I also despise Froakie. So it's like mutual disdain. We have a mutual disdain for one another. I do love how we consistently only get 0 physical defense Froakie for other 0 stats. That does kind of make me chuckle. I think I'll build a rain team. Yeah, I feel like rain teams are probably going to be a bit better. Granted, I prefer sun teams that like the past paradoxes. Speaking of rain teams, actually, my biggest worry going into Scarlet Violet that I'm super beyond happy did not actually happen, because this was a worry shared by Santino as well, was Terastallize, Swift Swim, Water, water types on rain teams would run the metagame, and, like, they just never did. And I think a large part of that comes down to Storm Drain and Water Absorb, as well as Dry Skin, are all very, very, very good abilities that kind of kneecap them. So they can't, you know, just run over everything. It's like, that's good. And then, you know, you got all the Sun teams that want to use the Sun Paradoxes that keep that down as well. So, like, yeah, that's good. But yeah, Maisie, consistently in the history of competitive, aside from the blip on the map that was Primal Groudon, rain teams have consistently been the best weather composition, just intrinsically, from Gen 5 through everything, aside from, again, the little hiccup that was Primal Groudon, because it was Primal Groudon, rain teams have consistently been the best weather. Because... Oh, nice, Taylor. Very nice. Do you see why Phase 2 and Phase 3 of that fight is my favorite part, and why I despise Phase 4? But how did you enjoy the fight? The build-up to that fight was amazing. Like, the only thing about that final phase I don't like is you follow up, you know, these two absolutely amazing battles. Like, the freaking health bar that just keeps going. He's like, the freaking health bar just doesn't stop. It's like that level of shock. A lot of final bosses in games have multiple phases. This is something that we as Pokemon players kind of don't really have the being accustomed to, but in many games, final bosses have multiple phases. Like, Kirby is famous for having 3-phase final boss fights. Actually, most games actually have 3-phase final bosses. Sometimes they have a 4th phase. The trope namer for this is the one-winged angel form, which, of course, you know, Sephiroth is the namer of that. You know, classic bad boy Sephiroth. You know, epic hair, Mezimune, awesome hair. Yeah. A lot. Pokemon is one of the games that just does not have that, where you do not have multi-phase final bosses. The closest Pokemon has ever been to multi-phase final bosses is Volo, who cheats, and kind of Greevil, but also not really. You know, it's something that, like, we as Pokemon players don't really have much experience with, but a lot of games and even anime will have, you know, oh, you've defeated my first form, boom, I go into my super mode. Like, it's basically a Super Saiyan mode. He's like phase 2. So get out of my mind, the battle surprisingly went easy with the Master Sword, fuses Silver Line of Horror, and the level 2 Fierce Deity Armor. Yeah, if you go in with damage up gear, the fight is not very difficult. Though, what did you think of Phase 2 and Phase... I mean, Phase 4 is a joke. This Pokemon way of final bosses fighting the same character with... Yeah. It's like back-to-back fights is like the closest thing Pokemon can do with Phase 2 and Phase 3. It's like the way Pokemon is set up almost doesn't really allow for the idea of multi-phase bosses. Like, again, the closest other is Getsis, and I'm pretty sure you get healed after... I guess Pokemon Black and White kind of has a multi-phase final boss, but it's like, you fight Zekrom, or Reshiram, N heals you, you fight N, then after you fight N heals you again, and then you fight Getsis. It's not really a multi-phase final boss. It's like, that's the closest Pokemon really gets, outside of, you know, the overtly cheating Greevil and Volo. I love it. Yeah, like, that's my favorite thing about Phase 3, is, like, Phase 3 just he can Flurry Rush you. Because Flurry Rush is your best weapon throughout the entire game, and he's just, nah, I'm gonna Flurry Rush you if you screw up. I love that. Pelipper, Dreadnought, Rotom, Watch, Zapdos, random fire type. to destroy grass types and Fluttermane. Interesting. Feel also fire type would be helpful so you can deal with any Scizor. Or just your steel types in general. Oh, you're talking about for Phantom Ganons? I recommend you get the Master Sword. Just in general, recommend getting the Master Sword. If you have the Master Sword already, I recommend getting armor. You know, if you haven't done the Great Fairy side quest yet, you should probably do those, upgrade your armor, get you a little bit more bulk. I would recommend get up to like 15 heart containers or a minimum of like 12. Meanwhile, we're casually sitting at like 26 heart containers. Another reason to beat him is because of a lot of food. Yeah. Yeah, I didn't bring in a whole lot of... I used up most of my good food items before I got there, so I didn't really have that. But I love that final fight. Like, again, everything aside from boss fight phase 4, I loved. Zapdos gets Volt Absorb. Zapdos doesn't get Volt Absorb. Zapdos gets Static. Zapdos gets Static, not Volt Absorb. You might be thinking of Thundurus Therian. Hello there, Go Looper. How are you doing? You're probably thinking of Therian Thundurus. I struggle with recommending the Great Eagle Bow. I struggle with recommending that. Because it's a diamond, I'm pretty sure a diamond at the very least. It's at least 1 diamond or 2 diamonds, and you can get the Korok Forest Dweller Bow for free. Even though the Forest Dweller Bow is significantly weaker, functionally it is 27 damage points weaker, because it's a triple shot bow at default 9 points weaker. Actually, no, I believe it's actually more. I think it's actually 13. Because I think it's a 20... I guess... Is it 28 power? Well, it's significantly weaker than the Great Eagle Bow, but I only ever use it for fighting Thunder Gleeox, because otherwise I might as well just use a Savage Lionel Bow, unless I'm fighting a Lightning enemy. I struggle to recommend the Great Eagle Bow. It has fast fire, but by default, but I just say the Korok Forest Dweller Bow is generally better. Yeah, 3 diamonds, yeah. I wouldn't say that's worth it, because you can just go to the Gerudo Village and cash in, I think it's what, like 4 diamonds or even 5 for the Scimitar the 7 and Urbosa's shield. It's like you get a much better piece of gear. Oh, how do you get the Forest? You gotta go to the Korok Woods. You gotta head to the Korok Woods to get that. Pretty sure our stream top tier wood was the one where we did that. But yeah, you can get the Forest Dweller stuff. After you break 1 Forest Dweller Spear and 1 Forest Dweller Sword, you're then able to go find them in the depths. You know where Typhlo Ruins is? What one good with Thundurus Incarnate has Volt Absorb. Okay. So, you know that little ring of, stuff above Hyrule Castle? Like, there's 2 basically rings. There's a big ring and then a small ring surrounded by water. The smaller one is Typhlo Ruins. It's, you know, more towards the north. Between the small ring, Hyrule Castle, there's a bigger ring. That bigger ring is the Korok Forest. Big river thing? No, it's to the north. I would recommend, though, looking up like a map on Google for the Korok things. I'm not very good at describing it. Because I can't just pop open my Tears of the Kingdom and just show it on a map. Yeah, getting into the Korok Forest is the tricky part. You can't just walk into it. That I leave to you to figure out how you actually get access to it. Or you can go, of course, consult the entirety of the Tears of the Kingdom playlist. Yeah, it's not a river, it's a ring. It's basically an island inside of a lake, but it's just the lake is a ring. Yeah, it's very stuffy things. And again, guys, if you haven't done so already, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe for more. So, I'm thinking... Okay, new sandwich time. That's kind of convenient, the sandwich actually is ending off right now. Froakie, you suck. Start sparkling. Yes, this Froakie. So yeah, we can generally hatch about 50 eggs per sandwich. No, well, a little less than 50. I generally lowball it to about 45 per sandwich. Which is not bad. It's actually not a bad thing per everyone, because that means, you know what? So an hour we do about 100 eggs. So that's actually a really good... It's actually a very good number. Another to the great peanut butter sandwich. Butter and peanut butter together I've never had, and I kind of want to try that now. Like, very few sandwiches in this game actually make me hungry. But butter and peanut butter kind of... I'll have to try that at some point. I'll have to try that. Because I love peanut butter. Big fan of Reese's. Big fan of dipping pretzels into peanut butter as well. It is delicious. It is very, very delicious. Don't know why, but it feels like a Sunday to me, and I know it's not. It's like... It's not Sunday, because we didn't visit Grandma. We didn't visit Grandma Maxis. But it feels like a Sunday. Into mint ice cream. Never done that myself. Not sure how well that would work. But I have heard stranger things. I have heard of people dipping pretzels in much stranger things. So, don't know where that falls on the sliding scale of things I find odd. I knew people who would dip French fries into smoothies. So, well, milkshakes. So, yeah. I generally just prefer to eat the ice cream on its own, is the thing, though. I just prefer ice cream separate. I just prefer my ice cream separate. Maybe Pelipper, Dreadnought, Thunderous, Therian, Amoonguss, Sableye. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, that is 6. Okay. Interesting. That's an interesting combo. You just gotta remember, though, you can only have 4 Pokemon per battle you bring in, so you can't make a team that is too dependent on each other. You're gonna need some... You know, you're gonna need to make sure that they can work in groups of 4. You're gonna need to make... That's the biggest difficulty when it comes to VGC, is not just making the team of 6 overall. It's making a team of 6 that you can subdivide into teams of 4 and all have them work. Hello there, Scrubs. How are you doing? How are you doing? Hope you are doing delightful, because I know I'm doing delightful, aside from the fact that Froakie won't freaking sparkle. But yeah, if we hit... Yeah, when we hit 5 times over odds, I think that we're going to be taking this hunt off screen. Because... I'll be real. I don't enjoy this. I very much do not enjoy the fact that this is going to be this high. So I think that this may or may not be our last Froakie Shiny Hunt on stream. I will do it off stream if we don't get it today and we pass 5 times odds. And we'll go do something else. Yeah, Greninja was added in a Terra raid several months ago. Like, I'm pretty sure they added it back in, like, January or something. You had to do the online raids for it, and not enjoying doing those, because those kind of sucked. The raids were not worth doing. I will be real. They were very much not worth doing. You barely got any, like, good rewards out of them. The main reward was intended to be, okay, you get this Pokemon that isn't in the game yet. Okay, that's neat. But what's the point in continuing to raid them after you win? There is no incentive. I feel like both Sableye and Amoonguss can work for different reasons on the same team. Yeah, Inteleon was added a few weeks ago. Actually, I think about a month ago was... A month or so? Month and a half? 2 months? Inteleon was, I believe, the second most recent one. Because it was Inteleon, then it was Chestnut. I'm just wondering if they're going to add in any of the grass-type special attack starters. Because I would like a good grass pledge user. We got good fire pledge users. We got good water pledge users. We don't have a good grass pledge user yet. I am still very, very surprised they have not added in Bulbasaur or the Squirtle families yet. Yeah, Pokemon Home Support happened like 2 weeks ago. Actually, more than 2 weeks ago. Yeah, Home Support was added a while back. It's actually how I've been able to do these Masuda Shiny Hunts by just deleting all the unshiny Pokemon. All the unshiny Froakie. Give me my shiny Froakie game. Give me my stupid thing. I'm playing a long time because I had to get a new charger. Ah, makes sense. Yep, that match checks out. But yeah, it's been out for about a week and a half. It's been out for about 2.5 weeks, I should say. Because it was added, I believe, May 31st, May 30th or May 31st, depending on where you were in the world, or the 29th again, depending on where you were in the world. Probably not. We're not gonna be doing the Chestnut raids cactus because we're hatching the Froakie eggs. And most of the time, the people don't really care about doing the Terror raids after the raid boss has already been in rotation. So that goes to 70. That's kind of the one issue of having the Terror raid bosses rotate like in and out. Is like, okay, we get it the first week, and then the week after, there's no reason to really keep raiding it. Yeah, I get why they don't add, like, Urban Mystica to the raids. It makes sense. But the only real reward is the actual Pokemon itself. There's really no good reason to do it for experience candies, because you can easily farm the experience candies elsewhere. Self-fodder items, you can easily farm those elsewhere. It's kind of a weird thing that they kind of made the Terror raids, and they're not really beneficial. Yeah, it's the only real reason to have done the Inteleon raids is if you wanted to get Inteleon in a special Pokeball, because I like the Pokeball style on my Pokemon, but if you're not doing that, there's really no reason. I didn't get the Chestnut raids. When they talk about how they want a commission, you say your art sucks, and then you tell them. Wow, Hannah, can you DM me like the entire of that thing? A lot of the time, Amoonguss' speed is irrelevant, because either you're using Amoonguss in Trick Room, I know how much you hate that word, but it's like, you generally use Amoonguss on a Trick Room team, or you're using it for Rage Powder, or Spore support. So it's like, Amoonguss has its place. Yeah. The only thing about artists, though, when it comes to art, is I get DMs on Twitter and in Discord all the time. It's like, hey, I saw your channel art, and I thought, you know, it would be beneficial if you got some new art. Let me show you some of my things. Like, okay, you just DM me out of the blue. How about no? Yeah, it's like, it's... I respect the going to try to talk to people, you know, to get the thing. Obviously, that's probably how they get their stuff out. But it's like, it's weird to be approached by someone who's like, hey, I make art. I think your art as is bad. You should get new art. I make art. Buy my stuff. It's like, okay. Not subtle at all. Goodbye. I respect the hustle, but at the same time, yeah, no. No thanks. Done. Close the DM. Don't care. I don't do that, so it's freaking annoying. Yeah. That's basically what it is, Scrubs. That's exactly what they do. They phrase it a little more flowery and nicely, but that is the general gist of what they're saying. Yeah, it's like, if you don't go around doing that, I respect that, because this is, for me, what, like, speaks the most about artists when, like, you know, they make stuff for creators and they do commissions. If you don't need to, like, track people down and message them to advertise things, that speaks to the quality, because that means people go to you, they will seek you out because they hear of the reputation, the qualities, they will go to you. If you need to go hunt people down, like, hey, your stuff sucks, let me make you better stuff. It's like, that's not a good way to start off a relationship. Basically, that's exactly what it is, Scrubs. Yeah, we got the Assyrian Growlithe. We finally got it. We only got both of them. Yeah, it's like, that's one of the reasons why it's like, people with art is... I get why they do it, but it's also, at the very least, don't be a dick about it. Because this is the thing that I find funny. They never know if the person who made that art is the person they're talking to. I've actually I haven't really looked into Wild Bulletstorm all that much. But I'm not really sure if it will or will not be good, because there's other, you know, special electric attacks. Whereas with ground, there's just, you know, not much. Yeah, it's like, this is one of the things that I've honestly been tempted to say to those people when they do this. Like, hey, thanks for insulting my art. I made it myself. Goodbye. Exactly. It's like, they never... That's one thing I always want to do whenever people do stuff like this. Like, yeah, thanks for insulting my art. I made it myself, even though I didn't make it myself. It's just like, that would shut them down wholesale. Nice, Aiden. Keep that Royal Guard Claymore. Do not let that Royal Guard Claymore break. Do not let that break at all. Oh, wait, is this in Breath of the Wild or Tears of the Kingdom? Because depending on which game it's in, that'll depend on, okay, is it worth keeping or not. Well, then again, you can still do the Lionel back hop thing and bash their brains in with the Royal Guard Claymore. But also, you can only use it on Lionels in that case. The same thing with the regular one. Well, I mean, the thing is, if you jump on the backs of a Lionel, when it's like, oh, you stun them with, like, Urbosa's Fury, and you jump on their back and you hit them, that does not consume durability of your weapon. So you can actually use that to your advantage. That's one thing that I do in Tears of the Kingdom with my strongest weapons is, you jump on the Lionel's back, you hit him in the back of the head, you don't have the durability taken, so you can get a good couple of hits in. That would be correct, Blorb. That would be correct. That is how you reach the Korok Woods. Just remember, there's grabby hands. Just remember, there are grabby hands. I'm pretty sure Barbarian Armor level 2, like, everything buffs you twice. It's a double damage. I actually don't know how much the actual damage increase is. I've yet to test that out. Is the extra parts of the game you... I'm not sure what game you're talking about, Scruff. Can you explain? I'm not really sure what you mean by that. Oh, that hasn't been released yet. Yeah, the DLC has not been released yet, so we have no idea what it's going to be. But I'm saying it's worth it. Like, I think intrinsically it is worth it. Yeah, it's not out yet. Yeah, it's coming out in the summer. I believe actually not in the summer, the fall. And then I believe the second part's coming out in the winter. So yeah, we don't know yet. Yeah, because I'm pretty sure around this time of year is when Sword and Shield had its first DLC part come out. The Gloom Hands! Oh no, grabby hands! Yeah, I find it funny though, it's like at this point, with how many Lionels I go around just destroying casually, the Demon King Bow is kind of not really a factor anymore. The only real benefit the Demon King Bow has is that it's actually inflammable and it doesn't conduct, it's not flammable and it doesn't conduct electricity. So I can use it in storms or in volcanic areas without, you know, consequence. Yep. Yeah, the Royal Guard Claymore is insane. The Royal Guard Claymore is very, very, very powerful. But it also is extremely only usable against Lionels. In any actual capacity. You can't really use it against other things. That's why, again, I will stan the Royal Guard Broadsword. Yeah, it hits like a freight train. It hits like a frickin' freight train. Provided, again, you get hits with it. The grabby hands is very much. Yeah. I mean, I just use bomb arrows on the grabby hands. I just, okay, 5-shot Lionel Bombo, or just 3-shot Lionel Bombo. Goodbye. Yeah, because, like, at this point, with how many Silver Lionel Saberhorns I have, I don't need to go hunt down the Demon King Bow to get a good quality bow easily. And I can just fuse on Lionel Saberhorns to get an even higher power increase than the Gloom Club, the Gloom Sword, the Gloom Spear. It doesn't benefit me enough anymore to go hunt down the grabby hands. I have Korak, the last couple. Yeah, you don't actually need the last couple of them unless you go for true 100%. Well, unless you're going for 100%, you don't need all of them. Because you only need 441 of them, I believe, in order to get all of the meaningful inventory expansions. Okay, then you have to go for the rest of the Koroks then, in that case. If you're going for 100%, you gotta go for the Koroks. Where I put the fake shinies. Nice. Yeah, I just delete my... If I ever... There's a reason I don't trade on the Wonder Trade, but when I did, and I ever got into the okay, delete. I don't keep them, I just delete them because I don't want ban wave purges to come and lock my game out. It's called paranoia. It's not healthy, but it is a paranoia thing that I have. It's called paranoia. Never happened to me, but... Yeah, I just released them. I don't keep any of my fake shinies around. Because, like, I'm not going to keep around anything that I know is not legitimate. It's just, it feels wrong. And the other thing is I have a very, very, very strict disdain for Gen shinies. So there's that. I'm also kind of debating maybe not doing a Tears of the Kingdom stream tonight. And instead doing, like, just some recording tonight. I'm still trying to, like, puzzle out what everything's gonna be, because I am debating taking a little bit of a break from Tears of the Kingdom, at least streaming-wise, so I can work on, you know, getting some more recorded stuff in, because I still need to go play Metroid Dread. I still need to finish Splatoon 3. I still have to do a whole bunch of other things. Well, when I do my shiny giveaways, those are all legitimate shinies, because those are the extra shinies I get just by when I'm shiny hunting. I run into something else I already have the shiny living dex for. I don't need it, but I will catch it to give to other people, because I don't need them, and I want to give them to people who could appreciate them more than I do, because all those shinies are caught on camera, or at least they're always on replay buffer, because I keep my replay buffer running whenever I'm playing. I mean, oh yeah, those one, yeah. Like, the all-day shiny giveaway wonder trade is like, okay, those are all genned. Those are fake. What the fuck was that? What the hell was that noise? It was like... Oh, look, it's Froakie. It doesn't exist as a shiny because Froakie is being a shoe. Froakie, stop being a shoe. You're very much a shoe, Froakie. You're very much a shoe. Froakie is indeed very shoe. But yeah, there are indeed... I mean... Like, Square Shinies, Perfect IVs are already level 100 of the best... Yep. Yeah, that's fit. Those are exceedingly genned. It's like... At the very least... If you're going to do that... Try to be subtle, but, like, it's not subtle at all. Like... I got a... It wasn't a shiny, but it was a 6 IV perfect competitive moveset. I think it was Jolly Natured Glastrier when just trying to fill up my decks with the Pokemon Home GTS. And I was like, okay, that's hacked. Because no one would trade away a Glastrier at level 100. And no one with any sense would have a... perfect speed boosting nature Glastrier. The only kind of Glastrier people want is a negative speed one with a 0 speed IV for competitive reasons. And no one training one up would ever do that. It's like, why? Yep. Still no Froggo. Shiny Froggo does not existo. But yeah, you missed the little conversation about this. But when we hit over 5 times odds, I'm thinking that we're going to continue the Froakie shiny hunt off stream. Because, at least for Masuda hunts, you know, I enjoy Masuda hunts, but they're not as interactive as, you know, other hunt methods. Yeah. Hello, Litsune! Thank you for the support. I know I need the support, because, mentally everything is just shattering. Is just absolutely nothing. Yeah, it's like, the shiny Ho-Oh hunt kind of is what, okay, I need to start establishing some, like, hard limits on the upper bounds of what I'm going to continue streaming shiny hunts for. Because, like, I'm going to still hunt the things, obviously. But it's one of those things where I am going to continuously be talking in circles. And that's also time I could spend on other things. Yeah. So it's like, it's balancing act. I think 5 times odds is like a good cap. Because it's like, 4 times odds, I'd be like, okay. That's still quick enough to reach. But, you know, when you hit into, you know, the ballpark of, you know, 5 times odds, well over 2 weeks of a single hunt when breaking down everything. That's okay. That's dragging on a bit. That's all eating into time I can spend doing other stuff. So like we'll hit. So what? 5 times odds would be 560. 2,560 eggs would be exactly 5 times odds. So if we still have some more we can do after that, we'll probably zero out this. We'll not zero out our eggs on this stream. We'll probably like zero the amount off stream. And then I just basically go back and forth. And I'll just work on maybe like a few batches of eggs a day. Because my other idea I actually had when it came to shiny hunting was I would do a few boxes of eggs. Then I would do some overworld hunting, you know, with some sandwiches. And that would, that would require a bit more planning on my part. But I had a couple ideas for that. So to join streams with streamers when... Yep. That is a very, very recursive issue that people will notice. Oh, I can actually upgrade, update this counter. So yeah, so we have 260 more eggs until we hit 5 times odds. That is a little, that's, we'll just say 9 more boxes. Let's actually check. How many boxes do I actually even have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. 7. Okay, so we'll be a hair under quintuple odds when we end off today if we hatch everything here. But I still think that's, you know, close enough to call it. But I'll probably do some more next time and then we'll move on to a different hunt. Or I'll just do it off stream. Depending on how quick that Froakie hunt goes off stream, I'll probably do some on stream as like the next one as well. Work from home though, is that tough? Yeah. Yeah, working from home also has like the side benefit of like you don't have to drive to and from. So it's like you actually have a free minute. When you have a free minute, you can actually do, you know, stuff you enjoy. There's pros and cons. There's pros and cons to it. But yeah. Yeah, I love being here. Yeah. And we enjoy having you here as well, Midnight. We enjoy having you here as well. Do 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 do. Yeah, it definitely made. Exactly. It is indeed supporting new Fuendo. Definitely a pro of not having to... Yep. It's Canadian gas prices. I mean, it's also just a time saver. It's like, you can sleep in later. Because you don't need to get up and, you know, drive somewhere. You know, go eat breakfast, drive somewhere, you know, spend more time getting ready. You can just, okay, just plop down at a computer or something. Got goosebumps thinking of gas prices. Ooh boy. Oh boy. Yeah, there's the. I mean, the other thing is, it's just beneficial to work from home. Yeah, the only thing about the work from home that's not good is I remember when I was in college, my classes not conducive to learning remotely. I'm working from home. I have insomnia, waking up early, so yeah. Yeah, it's honestly a good thing. Although chronic pain, work in bed. Yeah. Yeah, it's one of those good things where it's like, there's a lot of benefits to it. The funny thing is that people are like, oh, there's no way people are going to be motivated to work. It's like, no, people actually are. Yeah, I believe you can bring Mewtwo into Scarlet Violet. I believe you are able to import Mewtwo from Sword and Shield into Scarlet Violet. Most of the, a number of the restricted legendaries, as in like restricted legendaries and the competitive restricted ones, so like Dialga, Palkia, Giratina, I believe the legendary birds are able to be brought in. The genies, well, minor legendaries. I know Heatran can be brought in. You can bring in a bunch of stuff. I know Cerebi.net has like a comprehensive list of the transferable ones. So yeah, there's Cerebee's got a comprehensive. I don't know the list off the top of my head, mostly because I don't generally feel the compulsion to transfer everything in, but it is a thing. Speaking of actually transferring stuff in, I am still debating on when I'm going to be transferring in my stuff from Pokemon Home. You know, as in, like, importing my stuff in from Pokemon Bank into Pokemon Home and into the modern games, because I don't really feel the compulsion or need to have a lot of my older stuff in the newer games. Like, yeah, it'd be nice to bring in my shiny Zapdos, but it's also like, I don't really need it. I like it, but I don't really need it. Been 6 weeks in Sword and Shield, the new game expansion pass to get the shiny Duck, Lycanroc. So quit, 3 days, finally end the suffering, got it. Nice! So how did you shiny hunt for your Dusk Lycanroc? Did you just Masuda breed a Rockruff? Because that's the way I'm going to be shiny hunting mine. Well, my Dusk Lycanroc is going to be by a Masuda method. Not, you know, the reset method, because that's not fun. That's not very fun. How do I get Korok stuff? Basically, go to the top of the Great Deku Tree, and there's a guy with a side quest. There's a guy with a side quest at the top of the Great Deku Tree. Shiny Midnight from Light and Iron Adventure. Name it Midnight. Yeah. Makes sense. Be a Dusk Lycanroc you can only get via Masuda method or just encounters. However, getting it via encounters is a little tricky because of the time difference for it. The easy way of getting it is Masuda method, because here's the fun thing. If you breed a Dusk Lycanroc with a Ditto, you will only ever get Dusk Lycanroc eggs. So, you will never get any other regular Lycanroc, which is helpful. So, like, you can just breed them and just only have that. You need to evolve it at the right time frame of the day, is the tricky part. But other than that, it's actually not too bad. The right nature or whatever needed to actually trade it. Oh, that's not good. And Rock Pupper in the game. I'm thinking I want to evolve into Dust. It can. If it's not going to do Dust. Yes. But see, here's the thing, Midnight. Is it own tempo? That's the thing. Is it? I believe you can only get it if it's the own tempo Rockruff. The way I prefer to fight the grabby hands is bomb arrows. My preferred method is just... Nope. You cannot ability patch it. You cannot ability patch on own tempo. Because own tempo is not the hidden ability. Own tempo is a special ability. It operates outside those rules. The main reason is... Own Tempo Rockruff is treated in-game as a separate form. So, you know how the game treats Alolan forms and things like that as being their, like regional variants and things like that as being their own separate, distinct forms? That's kind of how the game's coding treats Rockruff with Own Tempo. And you can kind of tell this because if you look at some of the, like, regional variants, dex numbers will be, like, question mark, question mark, question mark. With Own Tempo Rockruff has a question mark, question mark, question mark for its dex number. It's treated as a fundamentally separate form, which is why the breeding trick works. It's very weird. I can get you one if you need. I can get you an Own Tempo Rockruff. We can figure that out later. Yeah, it's not that hard of a thing to get, but it's annoying. It's just simply annoying to get. That one just wanted the shiny one to be... oh, right. The one you have was shiny. Yeah, that's why I'm doing my Masuda hunt for the own tempo one and not dealing with that shenanigans. So I'm not dealing with that shenanigans. I thought you wanted an own tempo Rockruff to breed to get a shiny. Yep. Yeah, because the other thing is, there's a 3-minute stretch of in-game time where you can get shiny, shiny hunt for Dusk Lycanroc in this game. Keep in mind, that is 3 minutes per in-game day, with each in-game day being 72 minutes long. Yeah. No, 76. No, 72, yes, I'm pretty sure 70, yeah, 72 minutes long. Because 3 minutes for dusk, 3 minutes for dawn, and then each of the day, each day is 33 minutes, and then night is 33 minutes. Yeah. It's not an easy way to hunt it, and I have no desire to hunt it that way. I'm just going to do Masuda method. Also, that way I can guarantee the luxury ball on it. Because the Phantom Ganon is poisoning the Great Deku Tree. Basically, is there to weaken the Great Deku Tree. It's also a nice callback to Ocarina of Time. Long-term hunt going on. So, what is your crazy long-term hunt that you're already doing, Midnight? Hey, thank you very much for subscribe, Damien. Thank you very much for that. You deal damage with sword and spear and hand weapon. I recommend Flurry Rushing. Ah, the authentic Sinistea. The authentic shiny Sinistea hunt. You're crazy, Midnight. You're crazy. To be fair, Scrubs, there's no good way of adding following Pokemon in a 3D game like this. There is no way to actually make following Pokemon actually work. The issue with it fundamentally comes down to you need the Pokemon's walk cycles to be fast enough that they don't despawn behind you, while also, like, actually staying true to what that Pokemon has for, you know, its stat line. Back when it was just, like, 2D pixels in the same way that it was back in, you know, Heart Gold, Soul Silver, it wasn't as big of a thing because it was not very detailed motion. And it doesn't translate well for things. Yeah, but then the thing is, you'd have things like Gigalith running super fast. You'd have, you know, these very slow, lumbering Pokemon just freaking sprinting after you. It would look very, very bad, and, like, that's the issue. It's fundamentally difficult to reconcile those differences. You know, yeah, we could say, well, just make them move faster, but it would also make it look very, very awkward, and then the complaint would be, you know, they didn't make these Pokemon look right. They don't act the way they should, and that's the reason why it's not something that you can really do in a 3D sort of game. Because not every Pokemon moves very quickly. You know, and then you'd have, you know, water types that are just floating behind you. You'd have... It wouldn't really work well anyway. That's one of the reasons why things like Heart Gold, Soul Silver are kind of the only games where it can work, where the movements are not very detailed. You know, again, like, let's look at like a very slow Pokemon, you know, just for an example. Let's see. What's a good, very slow-moving Pokemon? Like, Applin. You know, imagine, you know, you're running, you know, this fast. You know, you're running this, and then, you know, you just got Applin just hyper speed bouncing behind you. would look very, very awkward. That's the main issue, Scrub, is that you can't get fast movement and the main thing people want about, you know, walk cycles of the things following you, which is the translation of the personality of it, to come. It's impossible to have both of those. That's why it only worked in something like, you know, Heart Gold, Soul Silver, where it's a few pixels that just really don't move that much. So it's one of those things where the idea in your head is always better than what will ever actually exist. It's kind of the problem. Yeah, it's one of those things where there's no good way to make it work, because no matter what, there's always going to be some major glaring problem, unless you just make it so, well, you don't move fast at all, so everything can keep up. But at that point, well, the game is moving by slowly, and no one's going to enjoy that. So there's fundamental issues inherent in it that can only... That's one of the reasons I say, 2D games, they should have stuck with 2D top-down. Like, yeah, it's great doing open world stuff, but at the same time, there's a charm to the 2D games that I really don't think you can ever beat. I am a big fan. And it's not even just like nostalgia. It's just, I think the little Generation 5 gifts, well, the Generation 5 animations, like, I think those have so much more personality than any of the things they have these days. I just think it looked better. You know, the art style of back on the DS, I just think... I get why it doesn't work anymore. Obviously, you know, with the updates to the hardware, they want to make, you know... Having a 2D sprite game on a system capable of rendering something like Breath of the Wild, you kind of have to do that. But I still really kind of like the old school style of the art. You know, our old school being, you know, black and white style artwork. It's like, it worked. I think it worked well. There are still issues with it, but I think it worked okay. If I add Cyndaquil from Legends to Scarlet, will it become Hisuian? I actually don't know. I think it will still evolve into Hisuian Typhlosion, though. I think it will, though. I have not tested that. I need to test that. I need to test that, actually. You let me know how it goes, because, like, if it does work, that'd actually be really good to know. So that way, like, I can transfer my stuff in and have that happen. Give me my sparkly stupid frog. Okay, Midnight. See ya. Yeah, I'm looking forward to the DLC thing, because, like, I'm looking forward to that island. Like, the 2 islands that we're getting in the DLC are going to be interesting. The mask things. I'm still wondering what those mask thingies are going to be. Because, like... I'm wondering if they're going to get, like, Prankster for the ability. Because, like, they kind of look like yokai-looking things. Greninja wasn't forced down my throat. Yeah, I could agree with that, Go Looper. Well, I mean, I was never going to be a fan of Greninja. I'm mostly like, ninjas didn't actually exist. So it's kind of like an anachronism. It's an anachronism stew. But that's actually the reason I don't like a lot of like these super, super prominent Pokemon, is because the series kind of rams them down your throat. Like, it's why I don't care for Cinderace. It's why I don't care for Blaziken, because they kind of really double down on Blaziken. It's why I don't care for Greninja. I don't care for Lookout. There's a number of them. They're gonna be like... I think that the Mask Doggo, the Mask, like, Monkey, and the Mask Bird thing, I think those are gonna be legendaries. They seem to be sort of like the icons of the next area in the same way that something like Urshifu was. Which is, again, the other reason why we know that it's not going to be a returning area from previous games, because these are Pokemon that are new Pokemon, so. I love Inteleon because I doesn't get... Yeah. Have elite names. Interesting. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting seeing what they do with those legendaries. I look forward to seeing what it is. I also am looking forward to see what Terrapagos, what they do with that. Because it's like... What are they going to do with it with, like, terastallizing with it? Like, is it going to have an ability like Protean where... I wouldn't actually... I just thought of something. What if the reason they actually changed Protean and they changed Libero is specifically because they're going to give a new ability to Terrapagos, where Terrapagos' ability is on-the-fly type change without limitation? That just occurred to me why they probably nerfed Protean outside of terastallizing, is they were gonna add a new Pokemon whose whole gimmick is in-battle type changing. Which, if they do that, that would actually be kind of funny. Because then it's just one Pokemon that has it, and I don't think Terrapagos is gonna be too prominent. It all depends on what its stat line is going to be. It all depends on what its stat line is going to be. Or it could be entirely wrong. Could have just, like, some kind of not great ability. I do look forward to it, though. We're not going to get a Paldean Talonflame. Because, like, they're not going to add in a new... well, they did add in a new regional variant when Sword and Shield's DLC happened. So I can't... could have that. Gonna become rare. I don't think that would be a good ability, Go Looper, because here's the issue with something like that. The main point of terastallizing is you control what it terastallizes into. If you remove that level of control, you kind of completely remove the entire thing. What if a not great ability somehow turns out useful? Well, the thing is, then it's no longer a not great ability. Then it's fundamentally a great ability, because, like, it is useful. Not great ability kind of implies it has really no use. But also, here's the interesting thing. If they did add a Paldean Talonflame, it wouldn't be Talonflame. It would be its own separate thing. You know, it's like Paldean Wooper and regular Wooper. They're very, very different. If I check so you can't even tell them. Well, the thing is, you generally find out later how useful it is. So it's like, at first glance, an ability might not be great. Like, people underwrote certain abilities. Like, well, no, we realize later on they're great. So it's like, it's one of those things where that's a bit of making a judgment too early, is saying an ability is not great. I would say that's what that would be classified as. Like, if the ability say something like filter. I mean, he's probably not filter. Like, say that the ability's Prism Armor. You know, at first, okay, Prism Armor doesn't really sound that great, but, oh, it actually, like, gives it really, really good survivability. It's actually a really good ability. You know, it's one of those things where I would say the two kind of are mutually exclusive, because one would imply it is no longer the other, and too quickly labeling something not good would be before we really get our hands on it and see what it can actually do. You know, it's a premature judgment, I think is probably the best way of phrasing that, as pretentious as that sounds. Hello there, McSuper. How are you doing? How are you doing? Again, guys, if you haven't done so, please don't forget to leave a like on the stream and subscribe for more if you haven't done so already. Oh, look at the hiccups. Not good. Froakie, you suck. Yeah, basically that. pretty much the same thing as don't judge a book by its cover, but I mean, judging a book by its cover is a premature judgment. The two are kind of like the same way of... They're different ways of saying the same thing. Gonna lie, 4 times odds. Yeah, I don't gen. I'm fundamentally not a genner, and I also don't even really like Shiny Greninja. I'm doing it for a living shiny dex. So it's like, 1, I don't like genning. 2, I don't like Shiny Greninja. And it would also and 3, it would kind of defeat the entire purpose of the living shiny dex. Which is to specifically hunt everything. So it's like, kind of differing goals there. Yeah, the point of, I mean, I don't gen, and I specifically am very anti-genning. But also, there's no point in even genning if you're just going to get it and then just release it, because I mean, I already have Greninja. Not Shiny Greninja, I already have Greninja, so it's like, it's not a dex thing for me. It's the living shiny dex as a full, at one time, having the entire Pokedex shiny. That is shiny huntable. It's a collection sort of thing. It might be good, it might be not very good. Yeah, we just have no idea what Terrapagos is going to have for anything, so it's like we can't really draw any conclusions based on that. We don't have, we lack critical information is the best way of phrasing everything for Terrapagos so far. I look forward, I mean, granted again, Kirby's gotten to me, and it's like, I don't trust things that look cute and friendly. Blame Marks, blame Magalore, blame the entire Kirby franchise for that. Exactly, further testing is required. Let's see where it goes. I'm looking forward to it to just have, like, oh, its ability is basically what Protean and Libero used to be. It's just now we nerfed those so we can make this thing special. That wasn't a bug. The thing is, Soup, that was not a bug. That actually is the game kind of doing what it's supposed to. The bug for the Paradox Terra Raid was a product of playing the event Terra Raids without updating the game. Meaning, you are trying to load up a Terra Raid of a Pokemon that does not exist within the game's coding. It has absolutely nothing it can do, because like the code for Iron Leaves and Walking Wake was not in the base game. You needed to download the update to get that information, which is why it would do the bad egg when you loaded up the raid. The data for what it was supposed to load in is not there. The game had no clue what to do because it's information that was not there. Canada, last week. Yeah. Yeah, we had that cloud as well that came over here. And thankfully it's blown away, so we're fine. Oh, I forgot to actually update my counter. 6. Yes, 6. So the issue was a rage. Nope. No, the issue was your game does not... You essentially started an event raid for a Pokemon that your game did not have the data for. That's an issue of the player deliberately sidestepping the update the game flagged. You need to download this update. Do you want to not download this update? It's kind of one of those things where you need to deliberately not do something in order for it to happen. Not... It's player action essentially is what caused the problem. If you do that, then the game would flag that, and then when ban waves come out, if you have a hacked thing, you'd probably get your Switch bricked. So, that's probably what would happen. You would probably get your Switch bricked. That's the thing about Pokemon Company when it comes to, like, and, like, well, Nintendo when it comes to hacking and, like, not doing, you know, within terms and conditions in terms of usage stuff. They will just straight up brick your Switch. And there is nothing you can do. It's in all games, but Pokemon is, like, the main focus one, because who's gonna hack Mario games? Who's gonna hack Metroid? You know, it's one of those things where you could hack them, but there's really no reason to. Pokemon, I believe, a few other games are kind of the only ones where people actually do. So that's why, like, they're the focus ones. But again, like, what? Hacking Mario? Why? I don't know, honestly. I don't really follow Wolfie. There's only one VGC battler. There is only one VGC battler I avidly follow, and that is Santino. And that's because the guy has personally kicked my ass in battles. And also goes to the same college as I did. Wonderful guy Santino is. That was like, I don't care, I'm only watching Santino. Sad he lost at World, though, in Sword and Shield Worlds. I wanted to watch him on the big stage. It was like, aw, dang. He lost before he got on the big stage. It was like, dang it, Santino. You gotta get that Penn State spirit going. We're all behind you, man, except not really. It's like, he is legitimately one of the nicest people you will ever meet when it comes to Pokemon stuff. He is beyond one of the nicest guys. And I was gonna rip your team apart 20 different ways without you even realizing. That's the thing, is we don't know when the band waves happen, and that's kind of the point. Like, if you know when the band waves are coming, you can easily sidestep them. So, them not making the band waves public knowledge is what helps disincentivize genning. Because, like, you never know when it happens. But when it happens, you could get locked out, you could get bricked. You want to risk the bricking. So it was like, yeah. No, Megas should not come back. Mostly because super mechanics intrinsically do make the game more toxic, in the sense of it over-centralizes focus on certain things. That's why, like, of all things, terrestrializing, despite actually having the worst potential of being a problem, it actually isn't as big of a problem as the others were. It's actually much more balanced because of how much more flexible it is. It's not these 10 Pokemon become, you know, not even 10, these 4 Pokemon become the center of the entire game. How, you know, after stream, you can delete. What is that is not a shiny Slowpoke. It's just Slowpoke's color scheme looks weird depending on the lighting. Because remember, this game's got dynamic lighting. So the lighting will actually make Pokemon appear different colors depending on whether it's dark out, whether it's light out, whether the sun's coming up, whether it's going down, and it makes shiny hunting a little annoying. Yeah, like Snom. That's one of the reasons why Snom is firmly in my future Masuda hunt camp, because I don't trust myself. I implicitly and explicitly do not trust myself with that hunt. Frostmoth, I would probably shiny hunt in the overworld, because I can just make a bug sandwich for that. But Snom, I don't trust myself. I will only ever shiny hunt during the day. Well, there are certain Pokemon that only appear during the night, so unless you're gonna shiny hunt those by Masuda method, you may need to do some night shiny hunting. Actually, like, the last time I watched, like, anything Family Guy or, like, related was, like, over 10 years ago. Can't Pokemon transfer. I actually don't know how the Pokemon size thing works when transferring stuff in. I'm pretty sure it would log the information of that from Let's Go if you had stuff from there, or, like, stuff from Go to have logging the size. But I don't think if you transfer something, I think it probably has a chance, but it bunch randomly generates it every time. If you transfer in something that didn't have, like, size changes. Not an XXL Zapdos that's scared. Wait! Shiny Cloud Blue thingy! No one tell Roost. No one tell Roost. He will hunt me down. You're talking about the golden bird, and we got our own gold bird. This one's going in the giveaway shiny bin, because I already have a shiny Altaria, and I already have a shiny Swablu in the game. Oh, Roost's gonna kill me. Alright, where is, let me go find Roost. That was something. That was something. I already DM'd Roost. Oh, so many Deerling have already gotten giveawayed. So many Deerling have already been giveawayed. Remember, we found at this point 12 shiny Deerling, and I think that I've traded away... what? Something like... 8 of them? Maybe 9? Vampire Swirl, what? Again, guys, if you haven't done so, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. Cloudy bird. Cloudy birds. Yeah, there's been 12, we've gotten 12 so far and we're counting. I get who Roost is. I have already informed Roost. Ready for the genius name my cousin-in-law should accidentally. Boston Tea Party. That's amazing. That's an amazing name for a box full entirely of Sinistea. Mayonnaise. Hello there, Rosie. Hello there, Rosie. How are you doing? I love the little waddle that Azumarill does. It's just like... Azumarill's waddle is adorable. Azumarill's intrinsically is adorable. I want to level hundreds. How big would an extra large Caterpie be? Would it be like this big? Well, the Caterpie's small, right? I don't really know like the size ranges of like Pokemon from Gen 1. I forgot the first thing Ultimate Life Form Cars does. Oh, right! Oh yeah, the dubstep squirrel. Speaking of that, actually, I'm gonna send you that screenshot, Mudkip, because you're gonna get a kick out of that. Yeah, that's an out of context conversation. You realize I do this everything I watch, right? I do now. There we go. And I'm sending this to you, Mudkip, because you're gonna get a kick out of it. Also, remember the conversation. Not swords are just big knives. Spoons are just dirt shovels. You'll find it entertaining, Mudkip. I'm scared. The fact that I have gotten Mudkip to say he's scared, I'm actually okay with. Goals achieved. Goal of life achieved. Scare Mudkip. Had a big Caterpie before, as big as a Caterpie. Give it a hold. Oh yeah, Cloudy Bird. I think that'll just put you... I'll just put you... I'll put all the giveaway shinies here. Okay, no, we haven't given away all of the Deerling. There are still some Deerling that have not been traded away. Actually, half of them have not been traded away yet. So I was wrong on that. Maybe the forest latch was a typo. I'm scared. Honestly, a Caterpie that big would still be terrifying. That would still be a terrifying Caterpie. Roost, like... It would be very funny, because for those who don't know, our friend Roost has been trying to get a shiny Altaria in Black 2, White 2, and he got a shiny Petalil. So I almost thought, how funny would it be if I hunt for another shiny Petalil, because I need to get shiny Petalil and shiny Petalil for Hisuian Lilligant. Look what you've made me do. I don't know what the hell I'm looking at. I don't even know what the hell I'm looking at. It's like, what is... I hate looking at pictures of Discord from Meta because it always has 3 million pings. Yes, I don't clear any of my stuff. I do it occasionally. I love the freaking just vibrating Silazar of that. Just... But did you read the thing, Mudkip? Did you at the very least read the thing? Did you at the very least read the dubstep squirrel? The dubstep squirrel. Hard shelter, Rhino Lemonade, volume. Do I need to get in you? Kind of? How the hell did I gain 33 hours on Pokemon Scarlet the past 2 days? Did you leave the game running when you were doing other things, Rosie? Did you leave the game running? 72 hours. Well, that's not hard to get 35 hours in 3 days. You know, from now on, whenever you send me a picture, take a million of the cursed. I get to send you a gift. Okay, that's a fair enough exchange, Mudkip. That's a fair enough exchange. I can agree with that exchange. Though there are certain things that I strategically have not left marked because they're kind of important things that I keep marked for like future reasons. Okay, let's go ahead 10 hours. Rosie, you mathed very wrong there. That's 45 hours you added on. Rosie, you did not good math. Rosie math good. No. I mean, is that in-game time you're consulting for that, or are you doing, like, your profile time? Because the profile times, I'm pretty sure, like, round. And they don't, like, do it well, unless, like, again, in-game play time. The only thing I can think of is you left your thing, your game running and you didn't realize it. Or you've been marathoning 11-hour play sessions every day for the past 3 days. That is the only other explanation, is that you have been doing absolute marathon plays of the game. So, like, there's only one other explanation. If you haven't left it running and, like, unattended, the only other explanation is you have been playing it that often. There is only 2 outcomes, Rosie, unless someone else has been playing your game and you haven't been realizing it. It's like there's one. It's a Boolean variable. It's either yes 1 or no 2. Alright, let's get hatching some more eggs. Stupid frog. It's like, why? What is wrong with this? So Wednesday, 11 played Scarlet 1. But Wednesday. Okay, when did you start playing it during the day, Rosie? Like, what time did you start? Like, when? Technically, it's a psychopomp, Scrubs. Technically, it is a psychopomp. Which, those who don't know, basically, it just means the person that escorts you into the afterlife. What Pokemon do you like? Not a clue. Well, I've just started playing it, but IDK when? That's only 6 hours. That is less than a sixth of the total time. Rosie, you're not really tracking down where the cause of the hour increase is from. You need to kind of search a little more for that. You need to do a little bit more searching. I mean, I still think that the most reasonable explanation is you just left the game running and you did not realize. Maybe. Is anything different than when you last played it? Or did she just leave the game running? Because that could make sense. That could be the third option. That someone else was just playing your game. No, we still got more time. There we go. Glitch. I mean, the only other thing is that you mistook 18 hours for being 10 hours. Like, unless you mistook 18 for 10, which would make it more reasonable. Well, because of this damn bird. Okay, that one's actually kind of amazing, Mudkip. That one's really not that cursed. That's just stupid and silly. I like that. I actually like that one. That one's amusing. I have 832 hours in Smash Bros. I have like barely 15. Yeah, send that one to Sly. I don't really play Smash that much. I'm not much of like a fighting game guy. Not a very big fighting game dude. What boxes we actually got? No, wrong one. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so we got about 5? We have about 5 boxes. Okay, we have about 5 boxes. Me and my friend played. Wait. I'm just like, for me, it's very hard to get invested in a game of Smash if I'm not in the same room as the other person. We've been over this a couple of times, I think. Maybe with other people, though. I need to go... Yeah, I enjoy, I think that of all three of the Hisuian starter variation forms, Hisuian Typhlosion is the most balanced of them. Because, I mean, because, like, Hisuian Samura, I don't think is... Hisuian Samura, I think, is strong, but has a couple of weaknesses, like, in, like, you know, issues of kit and moveset. Like, well, not moveset, but, like, stat lines and things that will kind of hold it back competitively. And then the main one being its signature move is just kind of not the greatest. That's going to be problematic for it. I think Hisuian Typhlosion is like the middle ground where, like, it's not too strong, but not too underpowered. I think Hisuian Samurott is underpowered. I would very much say I think it's underpowered. And I think Hisuian Decidui is going to be broken. Yeah. I've got a bit. I have semi-mixed feelings on all three of the Hisuian starters. Like, I like Hisuian Decidueye, like the autumn colors on it, but it's a bit too much of just a simple palette swap of it. Hisuian Typhlosion is just, like, very much palatable. I like the purple flamies, though. I like the purple flamies. Hisuian Samurott, it's just blacker. It's just, like, the armor's black and, like, the horns is zigzaggy. Not as big of a fan of that. Like, I get what they were going for, but I'm a bit mixed here there on it. Hello there, Mr. Gunn. How you doing? Again, guys, if you haven't done so already, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe for more. Also been up since like the AM playing Scarlet. Okay, so maybe that's where it came from. Maybe that's where it's come from. Okay, because he's the purple flames. Yeah. Yeah, I will say, though, I'm not the biggest fan of how the Hisuian starters didn't change all that much in terms of overall design scale. There's, like, you know, overfelt physical difference. For the starters, at least. Because, like, I like that the other forms, they look significantly different. Like, at least, like, Weird Ears got a different color scheme. Hisuian Gudra's got, you know, that big snail shell. I don't have a lot of goofy fusions. Welcome to Boston. No, we're not. This is not Boston. I'm not from Boston. But if you're messing before. Yeah, that's probably what it was. Like, she probably left the game running all day for that. And mystery solved. I hate Hisuian Gudra. I like Hisuian Gudra. I think of all the regional variants from Hisui as in, like, regional variants, not, like, split evolutions, whereas, like, I don't consider Ursaluna to be a Hisuian form, because it's a new, distinct Pokemon. It's not, you know, a variant form of a previous thing. I think that the closest you could say is a regional variant that is a new Pokemon is you could make the argument that Kleavor is Hisuian Scizor, but it's a split evolution. Because, like, Hisuian Sneasel and, like, Sneasler. Sneasler is not a Hisuian Weavile. I like the ping pong tail quillfish thing. Overquill, you mean. Yeah, like, I mean, granted, I like Hisuian Gudra because I like my Steel Dragon types. Yeah, I think Hisuian Gudra is probably going to be the only regional variant pseudo-legendary we ever get. Because one main reason. You'd have to make basically 2 pseudo-legendaries for a new game when they only add 1 pseudo-legendary per game. So, I don't think, you know, say Gen 10 rolls around. We get Gen 10 region pseudo-legendary. I don't think we'd get, you know, Gen 10 region pseudo-legendary and a regional variant of a previous pseudo-legendary. Because, again, it's functionally two pseudo-legendaries. They did two pseudo-legendaries back in Gen 3. However, I do have a theory on why it was that Metagross was made a pseudo-legendary. So I think that there was I think that Metagross probably was like designed as either like a legendary or a mythical, and then it got like demoted to, well, not demoted, but like it got shifted over to being a pseudo legendary when like a different designer, like just a shift focus happened, or like, oh, we have a cool idea for two pseudo legendaries. It's like there's Gen 3 is an anomaly in that case. Then again, like, the tradition of the pseudo-legendary hadn't been established by Gen 3, which also is a further explanation for why it happened, probably. It's weird. It's something. That's kind of one of the interesting things about, like, looking at the older games, like, Gen 1, 2, and 3, is that those games kind of were made before the traditions of Pokemon, like, were actually hard established and codified. Because Gen 3 is basically the game that wrote the playbook by which every future game followed. You know, the whole idea of the antagonists actively seeking to use the legendary of the game was not really like an established, overarching trope thing of the game. It's, I think, slightly implied Team Rocket wanted to use Mewtwo back in Gen 1, but that also could be, our lens are colored by the anime where that was, like, distinct in the whole plot of the movie. So it's like, that could be kind of looking on it with, again, the other viewpoint, which was not intended. Also, a question. What makes a pseudo-legendary? I see the category different than legend. Pseudo-legendary is a fan term, which semi has been co-opted by, like, official usage. I believe in Japan, the actual term is, like, the 600 Club. But pretty much the pseudo-legendary is this. They are a 3-stage evolutionary family, where the end form has a 600 base stat total. And in total, to get to level 100, it requires, I believe, it is 1,250,000 experience points. So, it's a very narrow band of Pokemon. Again, you can find a little bit more on them, but it's basically 3-stage evolutionary Pokemon that have a base stat total of 600. Mega Evolutions do not count towards making that base stat 600. Yeah. It's sort of an unofficial term that semi-sort of has been co-opted, but not really. It's weird. It's sort of like this weird limbo of, like, again, fan term that has, like, kind of been semi-co-opted. But yeah, because here's the interesting thing. Back at that time, most legendaries, and even today, most legendaries don't even have, like, they actually are either, like, 600 or less base stat total. Must be cool. Okay, then Dragapult Pultiface fails that. Dragapult fails the cool rule. Sorry, I'm not a big fan of Dragapult. I love the idea of it, and it's silly, and I think its Pokedex entry about, like, Dracloak worries about the Dreepy is adorable, but I've used Dragapult, and it's one of those things that I just don't have a fun time battling with because it's so frail and it doesn't really hit hard enough. It's like, I like my glass cannons to hit things. Well, also, to be fair, there's also already another Stealth Bomber Pokemon. Its name is Togekiss. Yeah. You didn't expect that, did ya? Yeah, Togekiss is also a Stealth Bomber. Stealth Bomber egg. Yeah, I mean, I had a feeling you would like it, but it's just like, granted, most of my lack of love for Dragapult was colored by using Dragapult on my main playthrough team in Sword and Shield. and literally having a draw cloak up until the final fight against Leon. Yeah, from when I got my Dreepy to again, like, throughout most of the game, it was just a draw cloak. Because it evolves at such a late level. And it just, even with the Eviolite, it didn't survive. It couldn't do any damage. It just sat there and did nothing on my party. And even when it was Dragapult Pultiface, it didn't do much. Yeah, it's like, I mean, as someone who I tend to bond with, like, the Pokemon through, like, usage in competitive and through usage on a story team, one that I don't really use at all and frustratingly is not good. Though, unlike with Lucario, who has the only dishonor of being a planned party member that was actively removed in an unenjoyable playthrough, I stuck it out with Dragapult. I stuck that out and actually did use Dragapult for the entire duration of the rest of the game. So it was like, after it evolved, it was kind of good, but, you know, it was a hurdle to overcome, and mostly by then it was just out-leveling literally everything. But yeah, it's mostly like it was frustrating to use, because the other issue that Dragapult doesn't have especially high offensive stats, even like Dragapult itself. Because Dragapult's offensive stats, I believe, as far as pseudo-legendaries go, are among the lowest. I think only Goodra has lower offensive stat, like main offensive stat, than Dragapult. Maybe Komodo ties it, or maybe Komodo's slightly lower. But the main issue is, Dragapult is a predominantly physical attacker when it learns very few physical attacks. Its best physical ghost move is Phantom Force. Well, people like Goodra because it's cute. People like Goodra for different reasons. Yeah, Dragapult. Yeah, 120 physical attack when it's doesn't get many physical moves. 100 special attack when basically its best moves are all special. Draw Cloak. 80 base physical attack. It is an uphill battle. But let's look at Goodra. Goodra's stats, 100, 110. And then Komodo. I'm pretty sure Komodo's like 115 or something like that. Like 110, 115. Komodo. There we go. Komodo, 110, 105. Oh, Komodo, 110, 110, 100. Okay. But Komodo has a lot of bulk. Komodo is not a glass cannon, which kind of offsets that. So it can actually, like, survive hits. Well, the thing is, Dragon Rush is a very bad move. Dragon Rush is a very, very not good move. You'd be surprised from, like, you know, Cynthia's usage of it in the anime, but it's like, it's not a very strong move. Remember, it misses 25% of the time. Phantom Force also is not a great move. When you could have had Shadow Claw. That's actually a large part of the reason why most every Dragapult actually is run special competitively. It's just, its special moves are, they're just better. Like, even with the lower stat, it actually does do significantly better work. You'd only really ever see physical Dragapult if it was like a Dynamax Dragapult, which is no longer a thing. Then again, now you might see physical Dragapult with like Terra Ghost. Hello there, Cinnamon. That is a glorious name. Absolutely glorious name. All I'm gonna do is because it destroys people. Yeah. Dragapult's a very good Pokemon when it comes to being support. It is a very weirdly good support Pokemon for being as frail as it is, and as, like, weirdly mixed glass cannon offensive spec as it is. It's very, very good as support. It is, like, infuriatingly good to support. Because it gets that good braking swipe. It's a fast, non-priority screen setter. I'm pretty sure it gets Thunder Wave, too. Like, it's all kinds of fun stuff. U-turn's a fast pivot. So, like, it's a fast screen setter that can also be a fast pivot. That can also use braking swipes. That also can kind of be offensive. Like, it's this weird thing of you never really know what a Dragapult's gonna do. Because it has such a weirdly large move pool. In terms of, like, its access. So, it's like, it's an interesting Pokemon. It's a lot like, that kind of is a comparison that doesn't really work. I was gonna say, well, it's kind of like Tyranitar in the way of it just has so many moves, but Tyranitar basically doesn't use its massive move pool. Tyranitar basically always sticks to the same, like, 6 moves, and it will barely ever deviate from those 6 moves because they're just that damn good. And then there's Dragapult. Boom, I use like 15 to 20 moves, and I can use them all very well. Like, even support Dragapult will run Dragon Darts. Because it's weirdly strong damage. You know, like, it's this very weird thing that Dragapult has this entire, like, really, really good... Maybe I would actually use Dragapult. Well, no, I can't really use Polteface on my VGC team for plan ideas because Fluttermane is Ghost. And I kind of would not want to get bodied by Dark types. The thing that's Fluttermane just obliterates Dark type because Fairy just go burr. Fairy Dazzling go boo. Yeah. I think that, like, for my next team that I'm going to be doing, because we are going to be doing battles with viewers potentially this weekend, but definitely next weekend, we're going to be doing battle with viewers. And I'm thinking for the first time in a generation, I am going to not run a sand team. I am going to deliberately not run Sand Tyranitar. Because I gotta get using new stuff. Like, I love my Sand Tyranitar. And if Excadrill comes back, we're getting the gang back together and going brute force Sand Excadrill again. But until then... Yeah, Cars isn't... Okay. Can you technically even kill Ultimate Cars? Because, like... He's, like, the perfect life form. He created that, you know, shell of rock, you know, preventing against the lava. Like, is there any way to actually destroy Ultimate Cars? Or is he just, like, like, if you hurl him into a star, will he just, like... I think the only way to destroy Ultimate Cars would actually be spaghettification. And yes, that is an actual word. Spaghettification is basically when you get too close to a black hole and you get ripped apart. Not even molecule by molecule, but atom by atom, because the black hole will literally rip molecules apart. And you just turn into this stream of just atoms in a single file line. The reason for that is entirely because the gravity difference from, like, say, your head to your feet is so different. Your feet fall faster than your head does, so it rips you apart. It's like, it's terrifying. It's like, that's... Black holes are terrifying things. Well, the thing is, you just turn the game off and turn it back on again, and just transfer it back out. You can just turn the game off, go back into home, as long as you didn't save after you evolved the Badger. And then you could evolve it there and turn it in. That's fascinating. So it is based on where it evolves. You do not want to be spaghettified. You do not want to be spaghettified. I love it when I can just drop Chugga Conroy nuggets of knowledge on people. Even though Chugga actually did technically get it wrong when he explained it. Chugga did technically explain it wrong. Like, literally rivet space and time. Well, it's not really... It's not a rip in space and time. It's just a singularity of mass so great, the laws of space and time just basically stop working around it. I've never watched Dragon Ball, so I cannot comment on that, Twisted J, but how are you doing? I have never watched an episode of Dragon Ball in my life. Okay, I know it's not, but like the shimmering from the Terra Pokemon always sounds like a freaking buzzsaw, and it is the most unnerving thing in the world. It just bzzz. Be the definition of Canadian Superstar? No idea what that is. Remember, I'm American, so I don't know about these Canadian things. I don't know how this Canadian stuff operates. All I know is they stick a straw in a maple tree and we get maple syrup. Shut up, number one. Nice. Just suffering as we shiny hunt for the shoe frog that refuses to sparkle because it's being a shoe. The shoe frog. I'm probably going to be hunting the rest of the... I'm probably going to do the rest of the Froakie shiny hunt off stream, though, because at this point it's just I'm talking in circles, and I would rather hunt something different. Like, I would legitimately rather hunt anything else as a starter. I'd rather go back to the Charizard hunt. Also never seen Dragon Ball, it's been a mobile game, Dragon Ball, Yeah, I've... Dragon Ball Z has been one of those anime I have kind of deliberately, intentionally steered clear of. However, I'm thinking of probably checking it out when I'm thinking of actually checking out Dragon Ball at some point. It's like, yeah, I watched JoJo. I watched Naruto, which were two things I was like, I'm probably not going to watch anime, but I watched JoJo, watched Naruto. I could stand to watch Dragon Ball, because I love long-form series. I like series that are not just, like, 50 episodes and then they're done. I like 100-part series, because it's like, I get invested into those. Find some Dragon Ball manga to get into the manga. Yeah, I don't read the manga. I just watch the anime. Even if... Okay, part 2 is done. Now, Magic Punchy Punch people. Ah, yes. It is time for Jotaro. I still love how if you compare the way Jotaro was drawn in Stardust Crusaders and you compare him to the way he was drawn in, like, Stone Ocean, he just, like, shrank by a full half size. Is like... He's just, like, the width of a tank in Stardust Crusaders. And then he just, like, slims down so much. Also, let's not forget, Jotaro Kujo is voiced by the same guy who voices Ganondorf in Tears of the Kingdom. And it was still a missed opportunity to not give the dude stasis. So we could literally have Star Platinum the world. It's like, that incarnation of Ganon is just, in my opinion, the most powerful Ganondorf, just because he's got Matt Mercer's voice behind it. You watched it before? Yeah, fair enough. Could skip it, but also, nah, it's good. You gotta watch the doggo with the sand. You gotta watch the doggo with the sand stand do things. Also, you get old Joseph Joestar. You get old Joseph, which is great. It's like, I like old Joseph. Diamond is Unbreakable is also great. Oh my god! Old Joseph is great. Yeah, Diamond is Unbreakable is one that on rewatch, I was like, I like Diamond is Unbreakable more than I used to. Originally, I was like, oh yeah, Phantom Blood is so great. Like, Phantom Blood's not as good as I thought it was. It's entertaining, but also, it's not really as good as Diamond is Unbreakable. Diamond is Unbreakable is a lot better. It's like, yeah, Stone Ocean, I think, is the only part of JoJo I can never go back to rewatch. Josuke's great. It's like, Josuke is like, I like Josuke. But yeah, I think I think Stone Ocean is the only part of JoJo I can really never go back and rewatch. For kind of the same reasons that I can never really go back and rewatch Avengers Infinity War. It's like... knowing how it all ends takes a lot out of it. Really, I can't enjoy watching part 6. It's like, I can enjoy watching part 5. Part 5 is great. So question, Mudkip. Is Gold Experience Requiem now just Giorno's default stand? Or does the Requiem arrow, like, go away after that whole thing? Yeah, Stone Ocean's not even... I don't enjoy Stone Ocean that much. Like, I can appreciate what Stone Ocean did, even if it isn't, like, my favorite to watch. Again, not my favorite, but I can appreciate it. Okay, because I was like, they never really explained that, but also, I feel like they kind of had to deliberately leave Giorno out of Stone Ocean, because he could literally just break everything. Like, there is no conflict. Gold Experience Requiem. It's just like... Gold Experience Requiem is OP. I'm pretty sure Gold Experience Requiem is also sentient. Because I remember reading something on, like, it acted without, like, Giorno controlling it or something. Because Requiem stands are weird. Yeah, I never thought about it. It's like, yeah, Gold Experience Requiem is just, like, beyond broken in terms of what it can do, but also, like, there's stuff you can do with it. The hand is all... I do love how they never actually explain what happens to the things the hand just, like, waves out of existence. But this is also, like... Fridge horror, fridge brilliance, fridge heartwarming. That the entire time, Okuyasu's brother was looking for, like, a stand that could, you know, destroy their indestructible father because they just wanted to basically end his father's misery. The hand actually could have done that. Because the hand deletes things from existence, basically, is how it's, like, implied, but also maybe not really. We don't know. So it was like, they had the stand that could do it, but he couldn't make his brother go do that. So, like, he didn't want to do it to his brother. So even in the end, his brother still loved him, like, that much. The notion was way better for Ryan Reynolds. Who would Ryan Reynolds even be? Like, who could they have Ryan Reynolds even play in Stone Ocean, is the thing. The hand is like probably like one of the best. Like, I do love how Okuyasu being an absolute bonehead works in story. Like, he's an idiot, but also, like, it works the way it's written. Yes, have him voice Jotaro's daughter. Yes, no, he can play Ryan Reynolds. Yeah, just Ryan Reynolds is there, and his stand is just Deadpool. Fun. Reen Reynolds. Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one right there. Again, guys, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. Sticky fingers. I prefer, like, Zipper Man is one of the few named here. Like, no, I think Zipper Man as a name is better for Sticky Fingers because it's a man who uses zippers. Zipper Man makes sense. Anime where he is Japanese. Again, The World Does probably one of my favorite ones. I still think the most useful stand of that entire series is honestly Star Platinum The World is probably the most useful stand in the entire series because it's literally a time stopper that can do basically anything. Like, just the world. It's like there's so many interesting stands here. It's like, nah, we're just gonna stick with the same one again. It's great. So are they adapting the new JoJo manga, like Steel Ball Run, I think is what it is? Are they adapting that into an anime or no? Hi, Midnight. So they're like adapting Steel Ball Run or no? Because I've been debating if I'm gonna ever watch that. Because, like, I have a hard time getting into the continuity because it's like, okay, it's literally a universe reset. Well, not the universe reset, it's like there's the other characters are in their own universe now, and like this is just a separate universe. It's weird. Yeah, I still have very mixed feelings on Stone Ocean's ending, because like this is kind of a funny thing. Like I generally read TV tropes, and TV tropes generally makes the ending of series more depressing than it normally is. But like, oh wait, when reading up on like Made in Heaven's like stand powers and the way the whole like stuff went, it actually is more heartwarming in the end because they removed Father Pucci from the timeline when they killed him in the altered timeline. So the timeline reverted back to the timeline it originally was, except Father Pucci never existed. Meaning, all our characters had a happier ending. Had a 4 times weakness to fit with the line. What would you even make Kleavor at that point to make it weak to something 4 times weak, though, at that point? I don't think it would. Like bug fighting. I don't know. I don't think bug fighting would work for Kleavor. Yeah, like, bug fighting also is kind of already covered cold by Heracross the Heraboss. So it's like, I don't think it would have worked. I think Kleavor works. But like, yeah, the thematic, everything else is 4 times weakness in the line. I forget which opening Chase is. Which opening was Chase? Like, what series? Which series was Chase? It was part 4. I don't remember which one that was. That's not Crazy Noisy Bizarre Town. It's not Great Days. Is it Great Days? I remember Great Days. I remember Crazy Noisy Bizarre Town. And I don't remember. Which one was Chase? Maybe I'll remember Chase. Chase joke. Second opening. Okay. Is that also Crazy Noisy Bizarre Town? I don't remember. Seriously. I'll have to go listen to that one, because I don't remember that one. Granted, again, I listen, like, almost exclusively to Crazy Noisy Bizarre Town and Great Days, because, like, those ones slap. Those openers are absolute gold. You could even say they're a gold experience. Hello there, Kayla. We're gonna Netflix live action JoJo's Bizarre Adventures. I think it would be fun to make fun of. No! They already tried live action JoJo's Bizarre Adventure once. It failed. Let's not do that again. I mean, on a more serious note, I really don't think something like JoJo's Bizarre Adventure actually would work in the confines of a live action series. It's part of the reason I feel something like the X-Men kind of like, don't want to say only works as an animated series, because, like, obviously the Bryan Singer movies were great. But I think superhero media in general, or, you know, stuff like, you know, that with like all these fantastic powers and stuff, they work best as animated. Like, Avatar: The Last Airbender works fantastic as an animated series. Live action, I don't think it translates that well. Dragon Ball does not translate well live action. I mean, it's mostly like, I don't think the stands themselves would transition well into, like, you know, live action. Like, obviously, Phantom Blood and Battle Tendency, you could do those fantastic with the live action. But, like, I don't think you'd be able to do, like, have, like, ethereal, see-through-ish ghost quality that those stands have them, you know, be rendered and look distinctly the way they do. Yeah, exactly. Like, I don't think it would work well. Like, I don't think it would make the jump to live action well. I think it would be possible to do. Like, I mean, they made Transformers work in live action, which I would say if you can make Transformers work in live action, okay. You know, maybe you could make, like, JoJo work, but I think it would be very difficult to do. You need, like, like, that's the thing I love is there's, like, the difference in the way Jotaro is drawn through all the different... Again, Jotaro in Stardust Crusaders literally is built like a freaking tank. The man is the width of half a tank. I am spoon-fed, Kayla. I am indeed. Forehead spoon-fed. I've lost faith after Death Note. I've never seen Death Note. Like... I'm a very firm believer in there's series that just simply should not transition to live action. You know, like animated series work for their reasons they do. I've never seen like animated Death Note, so I can't comment here nor there. It's like weirdly, I think Pokemon transitioned actually quite well into live action. Like, reasonably, I think you could do Pokemon live action. It's just like, again, you need to actually make it Pokemon. Not, you know, detective movie with Pokemon. I mean, Detective Pikachu works. Not saying it's a bad movie, but it's like, I wouldn't say it's Pokemon. Write the name of people who decided the live action Death Note was good. Oh boy. All I know about Death Note is like it's a book, you write stuff in the book and like bad things happen to the people whose names are written down. But okay, this is like the fridge horror of that kind of idea. What if you write down the name of like someone who has like a very, very common generic name? Like John Smith. Does the book know which, say, hypothetical John Smith you write down? Or does it just, like, strike down every single person with that name? So, what if it's also the name of someone who it's not their real name? So, like, say someone's going by a fake name or is, like, undercover or in, like, witness protection, and their name isn't their actual name. Does the book work then, or does it not work? It's like, how does the book actually... What are the mechanics of the Death Book? I require elaborate. Hey, we're getting raided. Welcome in. Mehedros? Meheros? Oh, Medros? 77? Miju! Big Bob, how you doing? Welcome in, Miju. Welcome in, Raiders. Thank you very much for coming in. Jason the Introvert. I love the 0 for the O right there. I love that usage. Let me go grab your link, Miju. Oh, thank you, Kayla. What were you doing on your end, Miju? How did it go? How did it go? Oh, Miju, remember a while ago you said something like Pokemon stuff or like help with, Temple or something in some games? You still need the assistance with that? Still available for the assistance. But what were you doing over there? Playing Splatoon 3. Fun. Splatoon is always fun. Splatoon is delightful. Did you get some good wins? Hopefully you got some good wins in there. Broke. Brokey is broke. Well, hello, McRobbie. You know a certain anime, Dragon Ball Z, Super Saiyan, Death Note, kind of writes a name, One Piece, stuff with all the One Piece. I've never seen One Piece. Like, I've seen none of those anime. I was on Zelda, was hoping to do the dungeon tomorrow on stream. Hopefully you'll figure it out. Hopefully you do. Hopefully you figure it out. You're still on the Wind Temple, right? Hello there, definitely not Alan. How goes the Mewtwo hunt? Meanwhile, Froaky's turning into her own shoe. Yeah, I am thinking that this is going to be our final Froaky stream. I'm just going to do the rest of the Froaky hunts off stream, because at this point it's just like almost 5 times odds. That's the limit. Pokemon is the big. Yeah, nothing's ever going to beat the biggest shoe that is Mewtwo. You're what, like 2,900 Dynamax advantage at this point? By definition, Avatar does not count as anime. Technically, anime by definition originates exclusively from Japan. It's anime inspired, but it is not made in Japan. It's a technicality. It's like how, by definition, Champagne only originates from the Champagne region of France, whereas other places they cannot call it Champagne by technicality because it by definition is from that place. No, Miju. I just want this hunt to end. I just want it to end. I don't even like Froaky. It's an obligation for the living shiny decks. We'll do maybe one more stream of it. It's like the frog. Nope. Most of my fondness for Pokemon is largely made from personal experience with the Pokemon, and also the series not actively shoving a certain Pokemon down my throat. And the way the series kind of shoves Greninja down your throat kind of turns me off. And it's for the same reason I'm not a big fan of Cinderace. Well, okay, with the added caveat of the Pokemon is not able to stand on its own. You know, added little caveat. Like, that's why, like, I actually do legitimately like Charizard, which I used to hate Charizard. But then, like, years later, I was like, oh, I'll give Charizard a chance, use it competitively, use it in a story playthrough. I was like, yeah, it actually holds up. Honestly, not that bad. It's like a good... It's a dumb beat stick. Charizard is point, shoot, aim as a Pokemon. It is a beat stick. It hits things real good, and that's about it. And that is my, like, preferred way of doing things. Because this little thing, Mudkip, called the replay buffer. this little thing called the replay buffer that I keep running whenever I do stuff off stream. Just for stupid things that happen, like the Gleeok flipping over. That's how I got the capture of Link tripping over his own feet and face planting into the bunker in Tears of the Kingdom. Which I'm still proud of that capture. I am still very proud. Also, you guys missed, there was that. Oh yeah, all the references to JoJo, stands everything JoJo reference, all the JoJo's, yep. Yeah, JoJo's one of those, like, bizarre series of just the pop culture osmosis that is JoJo's Bizarre Adventure is unique to just it. So, like, there's very few series that have the same level of, like, symbiotic meme content relationship. The chances of getting shiny Froaky are 1 in 512. So we are almost at 5 times over odds. So very not good for our hero. Like, without the shiny charm, without the Masuda Ditto, our odds of getting the shiny would be 1 in 1,365. And we're already past that, so, like, we are very, very on the not good side of odds. Froaky is indeed shoe frog. Froaky is indeed very big shoe frog. Everything the JoJo reference. Exactly, all JoJo is an adventure reference. All JoJo references. But yeah, the frog is... It's not only like burnout on the hunt, it's more so just, I don't want this. Mewtwo is a boot. No, the thing is, I like boots. So it's a shoe. I like boots. I like slippers. Not as big of a fan of shoes, though. Not as big of a shoe fan. That's why we call shinies. We don't get shoes. Slimeane's Rex in... I have no idea what that is. Oh, Risk of Brain? Risk of Brain, I think? Is that what that is? But yeah, it's Froakie Bean Shoe Frog. Froakie Bean Shoe Frog. It's a shoe. It's like, it's weird. We got Cinderace actually pretty fast. And it's like, I don't care for Cinderace. It's like, why is it that, like, only Greninja? It's like, there's a special pit of loathing for... There's a special pit of loathing for Greninja. Greninja's got a special, just, asterisk in there. Loathing. But yeah, it, Is this what I get for misplacing the video I made about Ash Greninja and the fact that it being removed and being replaced with just the change they made to Battle Bond being better? Is this punishment for misplacing that video? If so, fair point. Yes! You need to get Sly to watch JoJo. You need to make him watch JoJo. That would be fun. That would absolutely be super fun, Mudkip. He would, I mean, we already know Sly's lost his mind, but he'd lose more of his mind. It would turn the one remaining brain cell that Sly has after everything, and just cut that into like a 20th of what it used to be. Again, we love Sly. We just rip on the guy because, like, he doesn't realize how to do things in Tears of the Kingdom, and it's funny. It's like, he doesn't fuse the bomb barrel onto the stick. Oh, that was fun. But also really painful to watch. It's like... Why is it funny to watch, but also, like, it's very painful? Hunter X Hunter. I make no promises, Mudkip. I make no promises. Remember, you don't have the same leverage over me that you do over Sly. You don't hold the similar amount of leverage. The leverage is different. Give me my shoe frog. Give me the frog. Come on, Froakie. I mean, I know we got a shiny already today, but like, come on, game. Yeah, I'm thinking probably what I'll do with future shiny hunts for things is I'm actually gonna do the reset method after collecting a whole bunch of eggs, and then so this is kind of my plan for future shiny hunts. Is I collect a whole bunch of eggs. I will collect a whole bunch of eggs, then hatch them and just reset the game after, like, reset the game before it. So that way, I don't actually need to release everything manually. And I also won't burn through picks and food ingredients at the same rate. You know, exactly. You will hold significant leverage over Sly. You don't hold that leverage over me. You do not have the high ground. We are instead even ground. I'm half tempted to continue looking away from the screen whenever we hatch an egg, because I've noticed our previous shinies that we've gotten via Masuda hunts, I've been looking away from the screen when I get them. So maybe I just need to look. Well, then again, if I'm intentionally looking away from the screen when I'm hatching eggs to try and get a shiny, it's not going to work then. Because then the game's going to, you know, be like, okay, no, we're not going to let you do this. It's not going to work that way. It's like, nah, game's going to be goober. Game's going to do stuff and things. You don't hold it yet. I'm glad you've adopted my usage of capital Y space E capital T. Hey, welcome in, gaming! No, this would not be my first shiny Froakie. We've already gotten one shiny Froakie, but this is very living shiny dex. We actually reset the counter after we got the first one, and we got the first one to over double odds. So technically, we're at almost 7 times over odds for the entire family because of living shiny dex reasons. But welcome in, gaming with the pods. How are you doing? Hope you're doing well. And again, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe if you guys haven't done so already to catch more of my suffering. Because tonight we're probably going to go live again with Tears of the Kingdom, and tomorrow we might be doing some battle stream. You know, battles with viewers. Some battle streams with viewers, which is always fun. Because I do want to get back into the battling circuit. And most importantly, I want to try and break from my usage of my Tyranitar Sandteams. But yeah, we've been not having a good time with Froakie. You've not been having a good time with Froakie. It refuses to be ours. It refuses to sparkle. But yeah, tonight's Tears of the Kingdom tonight, I'm thinking what we're probably gonna try doing is more Korok Seeds, because well, more Korok Seeds and more side quest collection, because I want to try and collect as many Koroks as we can, then basically go on like boss and like stuff hunt down, like basically hunting down all the mini bosses in the depths. I also do need to well then again, actually we should probably do a Zonite supply hunt, because those who don't remember, in building the tank for Tears of the Kingdom, yes, we are building a tank in Tears of the Kingdom. I basically burned all of my Zonite. Thanks to shiny Hisuian Zoroark was like, oh. Yeah, we had very favorable luck with shiny Hisuian Zoroark. The first shiny Hisuian Zoroark we got in literally 10 eggs. And then the second shiny Hisuian Zoroark we got in... I didn't keep track of the Hisuian Zoroark shiny hunt, but I sort of back calculated the worst, as in like, you know, the most possible eggs it could have taken, which was 240 eggs at absolute most is what it took to get both of them. So it's like, that was a super under odds hunt. The Grookey family was also barely over 500 eggs in total to get the entire family. So I was like, we've had very good luck with our shinies. And then there's Froakie, which is its own separate corner of hell. It's like, the only other Masuda hunt that I think went over odds was Sobble and Rowlet, and those didn't go nearly as heavily over odds. You know, I don't even think the Rowlet hunt went into 1,000. Sobble, I'm fairly certain went into the 1,000, at like low thousands. Rowlet, we got Rowlet like relatively quick. Ready for 100 series. I'll pencil it in for the future, Mudkip. I'll pencil it in. Yeah, I'm doing for the shiny living dex, and I'm at this time. Nice. I need to go in and actually categorize my entire living shiny dex I've gotten so far, because we've got a lot. And we're also going to be resuming our shiny hunt of Poipole. Because, yeah, we're going to be shiny hunting Poipole in Ultra Sun. We'll continue the shiny hunt for Poipole in Ultra Sun. That's not going to be fun. But also, hey, thank you very much for that subscribe. Thank you very much for the subscribe, Lewis. Lewis? Louis? I'm bad with names. Louis Marinucci. That might be Louis Marinucci because that sounds Italian. But thank you very much for the subscribe. I'll stop playing Salmon Run with you if you don't. Okay, fine, Mudkip. All right, that's the leverage. Well, thank you very much, gaming. Thank you very much, gaming. Do you make content as well, gaming? Do you also make content? Ah! You also are a creator of the content. So let's give a little bit of a shouty shout out. I like to shout out other content creators. You know, I remember when I was like, you know, helping my channel was growing, starting out, it was like the other creators that actually helped things get going along, which really helped everything. So anytime I ever see other creators, like I like to basically pay forward the assistance that was offered to me to help others, you know. Give back to the community, even if it is not like to the same people, like, you know, spread the love. Hey, thank you very much for that subscribe as well. Luke's Adventures, thank you very much. It means a great deal. Always happy to. I mean, the thing is, Mudkip, I knew you had leverage over me. I just didn't want to give you any hints as to what it was. Because, like, it's you we're talking about. This is you. Yeah, always happy to help. Always happy to help. We still got sandwich power, right? Yeah. So we actually did also get a shiny already today. And that shiny was a shiny Swablu. The golden little bird, Swablu. We enjoy Swablu. But also we already have it. So, also for those who do not know, and those who are new, every time we actually fill our box up with spare shinies, because, of course, in the course of doing a living shiny dex, we are going to accumulate additional shinies, of which, you know, we don't need for the living dex, and we do giveaways of those, because I would rather give them to, you know, someone who would be able to appreciate them more than I would. So it's sort of an assistance sort of thing. You know. But yeah, there's some things. Does being a raid give... No. You get League points from actually clicking on the raid crystal. I don't believe you get any League points for completing the raid. You get it for just like clicking on the crystal. That's why if you want League points, the best thing you can do is just go and click on literally every crystal you find, because you'll get more League points that way. Also, if you need League points, you can just trade in your materials for League points. Yeah, you don't realize how many you accumulate. You know, unlike me with Watts back in Sword and Shield, where it's like I was actively hunting for Watts. Yeah, speaking of Sword and Shield, we're actually working on a big, giant, super video about Sword and Shield and Dynamax Adventures and what likely will happen with if Sword and Shield's Dynamax Adventures isn't modified into this game. Because the Pokemon Company would be idiots to not include a Dynamax Adventures-like system for this game. Like, they have to have realized Dynamax Adventures kept Sword and Shield going for years after the game was even released, and like it kept that game going. It kept that game basically on like life support, which is honestly impressive. Like that they did go with it. And like, because what we can basically it's basically a theory video on this is what Dynamax Adventures was like. This is what the NPC raid support was for regular Dynamax raids in Sword and Shield. This is what the regular raid support NPCs are in Scarlet Violet for Terra raids. There's a very clear improvement in what they use. So, let's try and figure out what sorts of things we're going to be seeing if they do have a Dynamax Adventures-like thing. But salmon run, the running of the fish. Fish go run. Salmon run is, I enjoy salmon run. Yeah, I still love Sly's reaction. Like, how the heck do you have that much time in Splatoon 3? You don't stream. It's like, I play Salmon Run off stream. Sly does not realize how much Salmon Run I play. I do enjoy wave-based survival horde modes. Like, that's a holdover from when I really played Call of Duty Zombies, which, again, I'm the only real concern, though, with, like, the whole zombie stream thing is I wanted to do a series for Black Ops 1, 2, 3, and World at War. And it's like, when and how do I pencil in that series? How do I square that circle? It's like, do I do Black Ops series as an uploaded Let's Play? Do I do it as like a full stream series? Like, what do I do with it? And then we segue into zombies. Like, what do I do with it? Because, like, I see the potential for excellence and or serious injury in doing that as a series for different reasonings. You know, it's one of those things. It's one of those, like, again, how do I square that circle? Which is not a fun thing to ask. It's not fun having to square that circle. Which is a fun expression. It's like inside baseball, even though I don't actually use the phrase inside baseball. Because it just sounds kind of pretentious. And I also don't really know much about sports. It's like, it would be weird if I used that term. Even though it means, like, give people who know stuff on the inside or something like that. It's like the people in the know, basically. Words are fun. Well, expressions are also fun. Come on, Froakie, just sparkle already. Just sparkle already, you stupid frog. It chooses not to sparkle. And we will make the Froggo suffer for choosing not to sparkle. Yeah, last box. This is our last box. And then we go on a raid. But yeah, I'll probably be doing like regulation C rules for my stream tomorrow. Because in-game rule set is also regulation C. Probably not going to be including regulation D rules yet. Because that's a whole can of worms I'm not prepared to open yet, is regulation D. Even though well, then again, once Reg D is allowed, I will probably just use my Charizard strategy, which is brute force Sun offense Charizard. If Regulation E allows in Koraidon and Miraidon, I'm probably going to end up bringing in Koraidon with Charizard, just Charizard Koraidon, Tag Team of Doom. I appreciate the offer, but I do not accept shiny trades. I do appreciate the offer, though. And again, guys, if you haven't done so already, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. Yeah, let me see pencil in some ideas for the teams tomorrow. Actually, I probably should consult Regulation D, Regulation C's rule sets. There's the Entei list, yes. Regulation C. There we go, Regulation C. Okay, who is banned? Banned Pokemon, yeah, Charizard, Galarian, Meowth, those. Okay. Miraidon and Koraidon are banned. Okay. So just be Paradoxes for Reg C. Reg D. Let's see what Reg D is. I don't think Reg D. I don't think Regulation D allows them. Regulation D. I don't think Regulation D will allow them, but I will have to check. It bans Mewtwo. Bans... Okay, also bans Miraidon and Koraidon. Okay. Newly usables, Alolan Raichu, Alolan Victory, the Alola forms, obviously. Really? The legendary birds are allowed. That could be fun. That could be fun. I do like Zapdos. I do like Zapdos. Quaglord. Ooh, Melty Face the Heatran. We could bring up Melty Face. We could bring up Melty Face. Yeah, it's gonna be probably the legendaries out the wazoo, though. It's probably gonna be legendaries out the wazoo for Regulation D. Probably, it's gonna be weird if we don't see Rillaboom, though. That'd be weird. Oh, Glaster Spectre are allowed in. And Urshifu. Oh boy. There's a lot of terrifying stuff that's allowed in now. There's a lot of terrifying stuff that's gonna be allowed in. Ooh, I can bring in Kleavor. I can bring in Kleavor. I think I can vibe with that. I think I can vibe with bringing in Kleavor. I like Kleavor. I guess we'll do Regulation C and Regulation D tomorrow. It depends on, like, if it's Legendary Overload City tomorrow. If that's the case. Because I am all for, of course, Legendaries being allowed in the competitive circuit. But if the streams are just going to de-evolve into Legendary spam, it's not as entertaining for everyone. But yeah, I got a plan for tomorrow. I got a plan. Okay, for a second I thought that one was pink. I thought that one was pink, so I had to go check it. It was not. So we move on. For those who don't know, we have this annoying habit of continuously finding shiny Deerling. It's our most collected shiny so far. But yeah, we're doing that. We've been live. Oh yeah, we generally do longer midday streams. I've been trying to get on the habit of the longer midday streams, and then do a little bit the shorter Tears of the Kingdom ones at night. Still lurking, thank you, Midnight. Oh, I hope we get the frog too, Midnight. You are not the only one. You're not the only one hoping we get this Froggo soon. I also hope too. But that hope goes away a little more every single egg that hatches. Which is weird, because statistically you think it would go up, because, you know, again, more encounters, more odds. You know, more encounters, statistically speaking. But nope. Nope. Game goes nope. How much is... Ooh, and how many eggs you get? Oh, we actually didn't keep track of for the Hisuian Growlithe. This is one thing I'm kind of doing for my future hunts. The reason why I'm only continuing this counter for the Froakie is we had the Froakie egg counter for the previous Froakie hunts. But for the Hisuian Growlithe one, I actually didn't keep track. I do know that it was over odds, though. I do know the Hisuian Growlithe was over odds. Hisuian Growlithe was, I would say... First one was probably in the 700s to 800s when we got the shiny. Then, I think the other one was either mid to high 500s to low 600s. Maybe it was even, like, near odds. No, it was over odds. It was... No, it was probably mid to low 500s, actually, thinking about it now. Yeah, it was a thing. I mean, it would be a bit hard to count, because it was a number of streams we did for it. But it's also one of the things where I kind of almost feel keeping count of them takes a little bit of the fun out of it. You know, just getting a general vibe for how high into the odds we are, I kind of enjoy sometimes. But I might honestly go back and actually take count. Because I can just count the number of boxes. Shinies to the Sun God for good luck. No! I already trade away my extra shinies to the viewers. That is sacrificing them enough. Nice. The funny thing is, I still have to shiny hunt regular Growlithe. I already have a shiny Arcanine. I've had my shiny Arcanine in my Shield version for a while, but not in this game. So I'm gonna get the Growlithe. I only need the regular Growlithe. Yeah, midnight. Brokey sucks. Brokey likes being a shoe. And Brokey's gonna croak. Yeah, not fun for our hero. But yeah, when this ends, I'll do a little bit of planning for my next teams. Yeah, I'm definitely got my ideas for my teams, because I'm thinking my teams for tomorrow, they're going to be a bit new in terms of ideas. You know, teams I haven't brought out before. Yeah, it's going to be fun. And then for Regulation D, I already have a vague clue of what I'm going to be running for my Reg D team. Because, again, if you guys know me, you know, fun fact, Antonio Growlithe is the first shiny shiny. Nice! Nice, it's a great shiny to have gotten. The excellent goodest of doggos. Yeah, I'm thinking for Regulation D, I'm probably gonna run my Hyper Offense Sun Charizard team, because it's like I quite enjoy Solar Power Charizard. Hey, Go Ringo, how you doing? I quite enjoy Hyper Offensive Sun Power Charizard. Which means I'm also probably gonna make my Charizard have, like, Terra Ground, so I can obliterate a certain thing known as Melty Face the Heatran. We love Heatran, but I need a way of destroying the Flash Fire Heatran. $510. Froakie is going extremely high in terms of its number of eggs. Almost at the end of the eggs. Yeah, almost at the end of the eggs for today. Oh boy. Froakie is stuffing things. Froakie is very stuff and things. And that is all I'm gonna say about that. Yeah, I've got my I'm getting working on my planning. Oh yeah, yeah, Sly Guy. Sly Guy does play Scarlet. Sly Guy does play Scarlet. Scarlet. But yeah, I'll get my teams prepared for tomorrow. I'm looking forward to them. I'm looking forward to playing tomorrow for the battle teams. Hopefully I'll have my battle teams made. Hopefully I'll have my battle teams. Because slightly problematic thing is going in just EV training. But then again, SGL is over, so I can kind of afford to invest my stuff. Hey, welcome in, Brian. How are you doing? Hey, fitting you talking about the Legend of Zelda game, Brian. Because we're actually going to be playing Tears of the Kingdom later tonight. That's going to be fun. If you want to see me struggle and fail at playing Tears of the Kingdom, you're going to enjoy tuning into that. I'm doing very well. I'm doing very well. I'm assuming you probably would need it as a touch trade, which is just to register the dex and trade back. Yeah, that's a touch trade. Yeah, that's a touch trade, so he would... Yeah, that would work. Froakie is being a shoe. Froakie is being very much a shoe. Yeah, I'm looking forward to figuring out some plans. Well, then again, I could just teach Earth Power too. Ooh, actually, wait. Here I'll probably go Terraforming or go Air Balloon. I'd need to come up with a way of defeating Heatran. Heatran can be a problem for me. Heatran would be a very big problem for me now that I'm thinking about it. But dang, I mean, I love Heatran, one of my favorites. I could... Well, no, I probably wouldn't run Trick Room with Heatran. Because I know I don't have an imperfect speed value on my shiny Heatran. So I wouldn't run that with her. I'd get another Heatran and then run that with imperfect speed. And that could be a fun thing. Yeah, one series idea I had, the idea for streaming, was hunting down zero-speed Trick Room variants of a bunch of legendaries, like a Trick Room Groudon, and stuff like that. Like hunting them down in Ultra Moon. But I never really got around to doing that at some point. Ultra Moon. There's a whole bunch of series for that. But we still gotta finish the shiny Minior hunt. Actually, ooh. No, I'm not gonna do my Minior shiny hunt when doing the battles. I'm not gonna do that simultaneously, synchronously. That's the one thing is I kind of want to do like 2 hunts simultaneously. One thing that I mentioned before of doing was the shiny Arceus hunt in BDSP, doing that alongside the shiny hunt of Soft Reset Poipole in Ultra Sun. And then using that, so like, you know, so I'm doing 2 reset hunts simultaneously. And actually, speaking of bringing in stuff from Scarlet Violet, bringing stuff up, I'm thinking I'm probably going to wait on bringing my Pokemon up from Black and White, Black 2, White 2, and everything like that into the modern game, and like I have like a lot of the stuff done. We were winning with someone DC. Yikes. That's not good. How much time's left in the game, Mudkip? How much time is left in the game for you? Is it like 30 seconds, a minute, or is it like almost done? Well, the good thing is even if you lose Mudkip and you have someone DC on your team, you don't get penalized. Like, at least that's good. Yeah, we're always happy to help. I would trade to like help to register the dexes, but the thing is, it does interrupt things, and especially like with the streaming for the shiny hunt, that is a little problematic. Yeah, I think she might have been meaning for everyone else. Also that works. They DC'd at the 3-minute mark. They DC'd like right at the start of the game or at the end of the game. I mean, that doesn't sound that bad if, like, they DC'd right at the end of the game if you won. Like, in the end, you still ended up winning. You just want to play tower control. Oh, right. Our Anarchy's not 3 minutes, right? Anarchy's like 5 minutes, right? Tower control. Tower control was fun. Tower control was indeed very fun. Okay, so these are... So now we're up to 20. Final Froakie egg for today. Final egg for Froakie today. Let's see this one not sparkle. I can hear it now. Final egg. Nope. Egg is going to go nope. I mean, if this is the one that sparkles, I'm gonna lose it. I'm just gonna lose my mind. Alright. And come on. Come on, egg. We know you want to hatch. We know you want to hatch egg and not sparkle and absolutely confirm everything that I've been saying. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Sparkle already. There we go, finally. Finally, the egg is hatching. And not shiny in 3, 2, 1. What a surprise! It's not Sparkle. Stupid frog. Alright. Let's go find someone to raid. Let's go find someone to raid. But it was fun. Count 4, I can only count 4. Only 4. Only count to 4. That's all the issues of playing the black and white stuff. Let's see who's streaming Pokemon stuff. Ooh, Seth is hunting one of my favorite Pokemon. He is shiny hunting Zapdos in Let's Go Pikachu. Yeah. Let's go raid him. Let's go raid Seth. Again, for those who don't know, I actually really do like Zapdos. It is one of my favorite Pokemon. Welcome in, Lucky Gamer, aka Gabby. How you doing? And again, guys, if you haven't done so, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. Yep, you guys did come from the Hero Plays raid. And speaking of that, we're actually going to be going live with some more Legend of Zelda stuff later tonight. See you guys next time. Let's rock and roll. Even though I need to come up with a new outro for the channel. Goodbye.